Yeah, we're ready.
Yeah, all good. Gentlemen, welcome here to Kate Lane for a fantastic afternoon. I am joined by Dan Summerfield, and here it is. It's the University of Gloucestershire women's varsity, and they take on Worcester this afternoon. Dan, how do you see the game going?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on today, Gloucester. I'm really looking forward to today's game. I think both teams have been playing well all season long. Me and Suf are both on the notes, and to be fair, I would say Worcester are the favourites. Would you agree?
Yeah, they sure do look strong coming into this game. They've had an unbeaten season so far. Fantastic record in terms of the midfield goals and the assists column as well. Dan, what do you think is going to be the decisive factor here today?
Well, I think the game before, we watched the men's game before, and I think in that game, while Worcester were getting dominated, Gloucester didn't seem like scoring the elusive goal, and I think in this game, it is about that elusive goal once again. And I know that both teams are keeping a lot of clean sheets, especially the Worcester side. As we said, they've been dominant throughout their league and done a decent time to get into the semi-finals. So what I would say is realistically is, if a goal goes in, it could change the game. But I think realistically it depends on if Worcester can play how they are normally in the league. I wouldn't be surprised if it could be like a 1-2-0 type of game.
So how do you think Gloucestershire will handle that sort of Worcester attack then in the midfield and the forward line? How do you think Gloucestershire can come out? What are you expecting from the first half?
What I would say is that the futsal was on the other day, wasn't it? And a lot of the players, part of the futsal, both play for Worcester and for Gloucester. So you don't know whether if they're playing today. I know Charlie Donovan is playing the back for Gloucester. I want to say that realistically, they want to make sure they don't concede early and then get into the game. That's what you tend to find in most teams now with football. But what I would say is, if they don't let that go in early, they can kick on from there, because with varsity, anything can happen, can't it?
It surely can, and we've seen a couple of classics before. So Dan, what's your score prediction for the day?
Being neutral, I'm just going to say I would love to see some goals. I mean, last year, was it Worcester win, wasn't it? Worcester won last year, didn't they?
It was a 3-2 Worcester win in a fantastic night at the Sudsmeader ground in Gloucester City last year.
Yeah, so I think it would be nice to see Gloucester get the win this year. And I know Worcester are dominating in varsity so far. I'm pretty sure it's 9-8, 4-2 Worcester, especially with some of the games from Wednesday and yesterday. But how about you? How did you see the game going today?
Well, all I'm going to say, Dan, is I can't quite give you a result, but you never know. There is always hope in the air, but all I hope for is a fantastic game between two fantastic sides, and hopefully it should be a varsity classic to remember here at Kate Lane. So what do you think, Dan?
As I said, I would love to see some goals. But I think we've got to watch out for the players like, I think it's Macy Fox up top for Gloucester. I know she's bagged a fair few this season. Is there any for Worcester we should look out for?
Yeah, well, Worcester do have quite a few international experienced players in their side, especially at the back with Charlotte Salisbury-Williams. 3 goals for her, and the Wales under-19 international. You also have quite a few. Annie Seamer as well, she'll be key. So will be Brooke Ellis and Ella Field. They all hold the court in that midfield area.
I was going to quickly say on a side note to yourself, How good was the men's game earlier? We'll quickly speak about that before the women's game, but how good was that?
Well, the good news is that, well, for Gloucestershire at least, they managed to grind out the result. However, Worcester didn't quite play as well as I thought they were going to. They went 1-0 down, they sat back. It looked as if they were almost scared to lose rather than, going for the win. So, but from a Gloucestershire perspective, they will be looking to hopefully get a double today. I think hopefully for the women's that might just be a motivation for them to push on. You never know. Seeing the men's do their job might just urge them to go and get a double over the rivals just up the M5 today. So who knows? Who knows, Dan? What do you think as well?
Well, listen, I was really impressed with the Gloucestershire performance in the men's game, especially I thought at the back. I said the back is going to be clinical today. If they can shut a shop, Gloucester against Worcester, they'll make it difficult for them, especially with realistically the conditions a bit windy today, would you say?
Yeah, we did notice that earlier, especially with the corners down at the far side. So I think Worcester had a few corners that went way wide of the goal.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that's where, again, they were a massive threat, weren't they, from the corners? And we saw that, especially in the second half, when they got a sub on, and Elijah scored the goal, the winning goal, looked like, for Gloucester. So it depends, really. I think the more the game goes on, the more that team's realistically, you got to remember stuff. There's a crowd for this game, more of a crowd. So do you think that will have an impact?
Who knows? It can do mentally. I'm hoping. We just don't know. I mean, with the fact that Worcester have won this game 3 years in a row, do you think that'll be in the back of a lot of these Gloucestershire minds? And how key of a factor do you think that can play for them mentally?
I think it will impact them mentally, definitely. And what I would say overall is for both sides. I think for Worcester, you got to remember, if there's a bit of pressure on them, if they've won this 3 years on the running, they want to think, right, then let's keep this going. For Gloucester, there might not be as much pressure, but for them, they want to make sure they can at least, as they say in boxing, lay a glove on them and really give it a good go. Because I think if they do give it to Worcester, they can make it a real entertaining game.
Yeah, I hope so too. I think it should be. It's just going to be dependent on how Gloucestershire handle that forward line, isn't it, from Worcester?
No, definitely. I mean, I was going to ask you quickly, what do you think about the atmosphere right now?
The atmosphere is starting to build. The atmosphere is looking good so far, but may build as the game goes on, and the game should be getting underway in just under 8 minutes. But yeah, atmosphere is starting to build. The fans are starting to crowd in, and it's a fantastic afternoon. And we're in a fantastic environment. Bishop's Cleeve just going out towards the hills on the outer skirts of the town. We had it at Gloucester City last year, so being at a different venue hopefully might just do some good for the game. And it is a little bit windy, partly because of where Bishop's Cleeve is placed here at Kate Lane.
Yeah, I misinterpreted the weather actually today, and I'll be honest, I'm a bit nippy, a bit cold here, but I don't mind. I'm sure the game will warm us up. Hopefully it's a good spectacle for all fans involved. But overall, I've got to ask you quickly on a side note, how good is Varsity this year? I love it, man.
It's been fantastic, and I think for the players and as well as the students, for those students that are playing, it could define their university career. Well, not necessarily define, but I would say it is one of those where you do make memories that you cherish for a lifetime. It's almost like for a university student, I'd say it's probably the equivalent of, just going a bit big here, of an FA Cup final or a Champions League final for them in terms of universities.
No, definitely. I think, as you said a minute ago, there's a lot of pressure on the game today for both teams. I think they both want to win it, especially you saw the men's game. You saw how much it meant to Gloucester after winning finally, after all those years.
Yeah, it did. I saw them charge onto the pitches. You could just see with the emotions as the subs were actually, for those that were here earlier, the subs were actually waiting on the sidelines for the referee to blow his whistle. 5 minutes beforehand, they were all waiting on that sideline to charge down, even when Worcester started to come forward, which they didn't as much. But as you notice, teams are just ready for that celebration at full time. So let's see. Will it be Worcester running on, or will it be Gloucestershire?
On the screen now, we got Danny in the glossy BMW.
Yeah.
Love to see it.
She should be.
I bet she's warm in there.
Yep, she's definitely cosy, I reckon. Wish I had that. Might have brought a few blankets. I think I could have done. Obviously, I misinterpreted the British weather and how it was going to be. But I'm relatively okay. But as we all know, this could change as the game goes on.
No, definitely. How do you realistically see the game panning out there overall?
I think hopefully I can't. Again, like I said, I can't tell you a result.
How do you think? Do you think that Worcester will start quick out the blocks, or do you think it'll be a bit more Gloucester?
I think Worcester will come out the blocks. Gloucester might just be a bit more wary of the attacking threat.
But here are the girls coming out now.
before they come out to get themselves warmed up by the benches. Here we are then, Varsity 2026, Gloucestershire getting to the huddle, both teams going into the huddle. Worcester coming here to make it a quadruple for Gloucestershire. For some of those that were here last year, they will remember that 3-2 defeat on that shallow night for them. They will be looking to emerge from a Worcester shadow that has been a cast over them for the past 3 years or so. Will it be glory for Worcester, or will it be Gloucestershire's glory? We'll wait and find out. It should be a fantastic afternoon. People starting to come in and settle down at Kate Lane, and a glorious Gloucestershire day, which does look a little bit grey, but hopefully a good game can make it bright. We're all set, ready to go. Gloucestershire will be looking, they get themselves pumped up, so the Worcester, the referee, steps into the middle. The two captains come towards him to shake hands. And hopefully this should be a game. It's not just any game for these students, it's a game, a 90-minute roller coaster ride, maybe penalties if it comes to it. That could define a season, define memories for these students, whether they will be cherished or whether it'll be some to forget. It's definitely one for the career book. Two referees, linesmen get themselves ready too, the two captains with the toss of the coins. Gloucestershire kicking from right to left in the light blue, Worcester kicking from left to right. Referees, the officials take their positions. The referee lets himself into the centre circle. We await. Huh? And it's going to be Macy Fox for proceedings, and we're off. The 90-minute and potential more penalty battle gets underway. Worcester come forward early though towards number 7-3. Macy Fox manages to get there, and Worcester looking to show signs early on.
Brilliant challenge there from Salisbury Williams. This is where you want to make sure, Suf, you're on top of the game, won't you?
LMA to take the throw. Here comes back to us, a bouncing ball, fantastically held onto the wing. Gloucestershire win it back though. Great work from the defensive line down the field, and it's gone out of play. Yes, it has. The referee says so. Actually, no, it hasn't. Sorry, I do apologise about that. And it's going to be Ella May to take the throw in. In it comes. She holds off 2. Fantastically done. Number 6, it's cleared away. And this one is going to be an effort, and the first effort on target. And that was Casey Evans. She's had a good season so far.
No, you're right there, Suf. It's what I thought would happen at the start of this game. I expect Worcester to come out the blocks, and it looks like they are so far.
And Dan, you can just hear the noise as people are starting to gather in now. I did say the atmosphere is going to build. What do you think's going on here?
No, it looks as though the Worcester lot have actually joined the Gloucester fans in the wrong section.
Yeah, the stewards trying to just shift them away. England's Gloucester on the attack. Can they get forward? No, they can't. It's Ollie Evans there again.
The referee pulls back for a free kick.
Yeah, tactical foul, I think. And just most of the noise all early on coming from the Gloucestershire fans. You can hear them just to my left-hand side. They're jumping up and down here.
That is what football is all about, Suf, isn't it?
That is the football atmosphere. Anyway, first free kick of the afternoon. And it's going to be Charlie Donovan to take it. And it's just looping around, and now it's cleared away. Comes back to the Gloucestershire number 16. And it's going to be another throw-in. Now, who's going to take this? Oh,
Salisbury Williams taking the throw in here.
Yeah, an interesting fact about Charlotte Salisbury Williams. Actually, she has made appearances for the Wales under-19 on the international scene, so a bit of experience for her in the big games as well. How vital will that be, Dan?
Oh, it's going to be huge, isn't it? Especially you said how much for calibre the players are playing for Worcester with. I would say that, again, I think they've got the more, I wouldn't say competitive spirit, but they've got more players for the occasion. And I'm expecting to see that today, but you never know. As I said a minute ago, the fact that I thought that Worcester would start off quick from the blocks, but it depends how Gloucester can cope with that.
Yeah, that will be key to today's afternoon. But Gloucester will have a goal kick. Danny Rogers sends it upfield. It doesn't go quite as far though, but it's regained possession. Gloucestershire will carry on the attack down the right hand side. In number 6, it's a good ball down the line, but she can't hang on to it, and it goes out for a throw.
I wouldn't be surprised, Suf, if you see a lot of Gloucester going up to Macy Fox up top. I'm pretty sure it is. Be like a hold-up player. Would you agree?
She is she is known for that in recent games. She is known for her assists as well and the hold-up play. So maybe that's one for Worcester to keep an eye on, Dan.
No, definitely. 9 goals this season. You'd hope she'd get on the score sheet today, wouldn't you?
We never know. Like I said, this game can throw up tons of surprises. Anyway, but Gloucestershire will be looking to end what has been a 3-year shadow of Worcester glory, and they'll be looking to emerge from that this afternoon. Dan, is that the motivation that they need to win today? And Worcester coming in for a quadruple?
Yes, I think, as you spoke before the game, it definitely will add a bit of pressure to them, especially with the fact that 3 years running, I think it is, the fact that Worcester are doing really well in varsity in the women's football. But I think for Gloucester, they want to really get their name on the cup, don't they? And I think that's what everyone wants at the end of the day. Yeah, and I think for them, while they've seen Worcester win year in year out so far, I think more of the pressure probably might be on Worcester. You don't know.
I think that's gonna be the key. That will be the key. There go the Gloucestershire fans again. You can hear them headed away. Spin a ping ball up into the air. It goes up, down, and it's cleared away, and it's just about dealt with. But Worcester have had a fantastic season, an unbeaten season. They come into this game on rock solid form, and the goals have been plenty to go by.
Yes, 133 goals this season. How about that?
Yeah, and they'll be looking to open Gloucestershire up early here. It's played through the middle, and it goes back to Danny Rogers in the Gloucestershire goal. Up it goes. Bouncing around. I can't quite see who's got it on the near side. Played down the line.
Foul given back to Worcester here.
Yeah, possession going back towards them. So Dan, early encounters, how do you think so far? Obviously only 6 minutes into the game.
Yeah, 6 minutes in, I think you can tell by Worcester they have that bit of the dominance about them. Straight away they wanted to put it on Gloucester. And I would say that realistically, the fans are definitely going to play a part in today's game, like we've said.
Yeah, you can hear them again. They really have got going early, haven't they, to back their team. As Worcester come forward there with number 3. Comes down to the right-hand side. And it's going to go in, and it's going to be goalkeeper to take the ball comfortably.
Yeah, I think it's Salisbury Williams on that left-hand side for Worcester. I think that's going to where their main threat's going to come from today. I know she's looked really, really good in the league so far.
Yeah,
and that's what Gloucester could contain.
Yeah, just hang on a minute, a foul there. Pull it on the number 6 for Worcester. Definite foul, but no card given early on, so I think the referee just trying to keep games flowing.
A free kick here for Worcester.
There we go. Free kick here. Just an interesting fact though about the keeper. It's Millie Powell, for Gloucestershire. 5 clean sheets, and that's the most in the league so far. She plays it out. It's a ball. They're playing it down the line, trying to get out. Worcester trying to trap her in. And number 10, out to number 6, out to number 7.
Here's Liv Stubbs.
She goes.
Liv Stubbs with the ball in the box.
The ball in, it's flicked around. Do they get it out? It's blocked. It's a pinball inside the penalty area, and it's going to go out, and let's just survive.
Yeah, that is where the threat's going to come in from. I'm pretty sure it's Liv Stubbs on the right-hand side for Worcester. She's looked really good this season. I'm pretty sure she is their top goal scorer, if I'm wrong, Suf.
Yeah, she is. She has been a part. She's been a really good part of that Worcester attack. And she's 22 goals, so yeah, top scorer. There he goes. It's cleared away, and the referee's pointed for another free kick.
Yeah, as I said on commentary before the game, a lot of these girls have actually playing the futsal this week. Do you think that will impact them at all, Suf?
We should see, Dan, how did the futsal go, actually?
It was a real close game. It was really close.
Not too bad. This ball just being played through, and it's into the safe hands of Harley Savage. She's also had another good season, so actually 8 clean sheets so far, and that is the most in the league as well. So how do you think her performances have been, Dan? 8 clean sheets.
Oh, brilliant. I think that's where you want to start from with the keeper. If your keeper's playing well, and it gives a bit of positivity as well in the defensive back line if the keeper's playing well. And before they had a chance, and I was saying about futsal, it was a real close game, I thought. It was 6-5 in the end to Worcester. But again, it could have gone either way, and there were a lot of goals involved, which you do like to see.
Yeah, you can hear Gloucestershire's cheering for Kira Llewellyn on this side. She's definitely got plenty of support here today, hasn't she?
Oh,
Dan.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, fantastic end so far. There's a bit of a tumble in the midfield. Stubbs passes on. Now it's going to come back towards Brooke Ellis, who brings it in, but the ball in hasn't done much harm. Goes into the Gloucester keeper's hands.
Yeah, good effort by Cassie Evans there. It's not testing the keeper much at all, though.
Oh, hang on, we could have a chance here. Gloucestershire in early, and it's well denied by the Worcester keeper.
Yeah, it's good keeping there from Savage.
She had to come out.
For a second, I did think that Macy was through, but it's good goalkeeping there.
Yeah, it's Macy Fox. She's had a really good season as well for Gloucestershire, hasn't she, Dan?
No, she has, yeah. She was in the futsal the other day and she scored a hat-trick. Unfortunately, couldn't get the win, but I'm sure she'll take confidence from that performance into today's one.
Yes, I'm sure she will too. And I'm sure her side will as well take confidence from that game, despite the defeat.
What I would say, though, I spoke to Charlie Donovan yesterday and the day before about the games for futsal and the women's football, and she said they were confident going into it, and you hope so. They're looking all right here, actually. They've got into the game a bit, haven't they?
Yeah, Gloucestershire starting to settle. Both sides starting to settle in now, 11 minutes in. I think it's just starting to be a referee points and brings play back.
I know that camaraderie around camp is very, very important for these teams, and I think, especially for Worcester, winning so many games this season, of course, it's going to be brilliant for them, isn't it?
Yeah, it'll be fantastic. Helmet, just this free kick to be on. Number 17 whips it in, cleared away. No, it's booted out. Yes, it is. Cleared away. Ball in, that's a good ball in. It was aiming to go towards the Gloucestershire number 9, but it's bobbled away. Now here comes Liv Stubbs. She flicks it down towards, and that's gone into possession of number 16 for Gloucestershire, who sends it back towards the centre field. Falls for their number 6, plays it out right, and that's scooped forward. No, just cleared away, and there's a bit scrappy in midfield. Number 3 heads it, then number 15, light blue, sends it back down the field. It's gone down to the left hand side. It's a good stop by her, plays it in field. Gloucestershire looking just to retain control of possession. They play it back. Worcester, I think, starting to play a high line. What do you think, Dan? Starting to put pressure on them.
No, they are very much here, so, and they haven't a chance here.
Hang on a minute. Worcester could be in. She got around the keeper, and that's good work by the Gloucestershire number 4 to make sure her keeper could come out and collect the ball safely. Worcester were in then otherwise.
Yeah, what I spoke about earlier, that's what you want from your goalkeeper, to command their box and put a bit of confidence in the back line.
I've just noticed from the Gloucestershire keeper the goal kicks have been going a bit short. There's that pressure now. Stibbs could be in. No, goes back to keeper again. But Dan, I've just noticed the goal kicks have barely been going anywhere near the centre circle. Do you think that could be an issue?
Yes, I think it definitely will be, of course. I noticed when it was a goal kick, they played out from the back, Gloucester. But what I would do is, again, you want to put a bit of pressure on their back line, because, of course, they've got the wind at the moment, so that would be a massive impact, won't it? Yeah,
the wind is blowing that way, so you would expect them to put some more pressure on there. Up it goes, down it comes. And it goes, Gloucestershire sounding pressure. The Worcester's blue number 17, Liv Stubbs, lays it back. Goes out to the far hand side. Ball comes forward again. And it's going to go out of play, and it's going to be a Worcester throw. It's going to be LMA to take the throw. This is number 17, so this is number 10. Back to May. Evans waits, but May decides not to, but it's been given away. Now Gloucestershire have a chance. Light blue number 7. She's cut the ball in. This could be a chance. She cuts inside, and defenders manage to stop just about in time. But as you see, and I think it was Beth Marriott, number 29, who managed to get back there. But here come Worcester again. Number 4, light blue on the counter. Good ball in, and no, it's not. It's out. In fact, it's wayward. It's gone over.
Yeah, it was a good idea from Haggett. However, she didn't quite pull off, did she?
No, it wasn't quite. But as you can see, Dan, Gloucester just having 2 chances, nearly one-on-one with the keeper. Is that the way you expected them to come out?
Yes, I think it is. And what I would say is it's end-to-end stuff at the moment, isn't it? That's what we like to see. And I think that's how Gloucester are going to win this game. If it's nice and open, they can put it on them, can't they?
It's a lovely open game. We're surely enjoying it so far, aren't we?
We definitely are.
Handball, no. Referee says play on and waves away the accusations. Ref sends it forward again. Gloucestershire's like the number 16. Sends it up forward. It's fantastic. Fantastic game. Good tussle so far. Liv Hobbs keeps it on that far side. Plays it back. But Worcester just slipping up possession there. They're getting it back. She's holding that midfield. That's a good ball forward. No, it isn't. It's asking just a little bit too much, and it goes all the way for a goal kick.
Yeah, you can tell straight away they're looking for Stubbs on the wing straight away, aren't they? And I think she's definitely a threat, like I said earlier, and I think that's going to be their threat, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's fantastic stuff. Gloucestershire's light blue number 16 plays it back to the keeper. That's a good ball in. Do apologise for the slight silence there, but we carry on playing though anyways. Worcestershire have it.
It's Marriott.
They're coming forward now, coming forward from midfield, on to the ball. Runs around. Gloucestershire just sitting off, and now in comes the delivery. There's 2 or 3 Worcestershire players in there. Number 4, she holds on to it, plays it back well. Plays it on to the number 6. And the Phillips, and it's gone over the bar.
Yeah, again, you can see here that Worcester are putting a bit of pressure at the moment, and I think at the moment Gloucester are dealing with it well, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. They are. They're doing a fantastic job, I think, so far. But just how much can they hold on to, Dan? That's the key question.
I think it depends. I think at the moment they're playing a bit of they're playing a low line, aren't they? Not as high as maybe other teams may play. So because of that, they're letting Worcester come on to them a little bit, aren't they? With
yeah,
Salisbury
pretty
Williams.
much, I'd say so.
Oh, brilliant play there. It's Haggett. The ball in the box.
Oh,
good defending there from Gloucester.
Good defending there. So Dan, early exchanges, 18 minutes. We've had 2 chances so far. What, do you think they should have been taken?
I think it's hard to say. I think that, again, both teams are getting themselves into the game with a ball in the box here.
That's a good ball in, and it's just
that
headed wayward wide. And
headed wide by the captain,
Annie Sime. She's done a fantastic role leading her side this far in the league, and she could be the leadership that these young girls need for this game this afternoon, especially for the newcomers. Dan, what do you think for the first years that are playing in this for the first time?
I think they'll definitely feel the nerves. That's what I definitely would say. But I'm pretty sure it's a case you want to go and enjoy yourself with. Play football at the end of the day. That's what they're here to do.
Yeah, definitely a good experience for them.
But what I would say to you, Soph, is I do feel like at the moment is no one's got into their rhythm just of yet. I think the game is at times been open, and I think that's the way that I said earlier, the fact that Gloucester will win if it's a bit open.
And I think the players will understand that, because it does take a little bit of time to get into these games. That's Kay Haggett, who you've just seen in the number 4 shirt there. She's also played a vital role as well in this season, especially towards the back line. She's been coming up front as well, helping them out.
Yeah, well, what's actually really interesting is with the futsal, it was the fact that Worcester were playing a real line towards the back, not a high line, not completely opposite. But this game, you think Gloucester were doing it, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, but I think the thing is that they're worried that Worcester have such a potent attack. But anyway, it's Gloucestershire coming forward at the minute as the ball in. She could have shot that first time. Holds off the defenders. Can she find an option? No, she can't. Gloucestershire able to retain possession. Was there a push there? She gets it back though, but it goes out for a throw. I thought there was a push there, Dan.
I'm not too sure. There, I'll be honest with you. Brilliant challenge by Marriott there. That's my opinion.
Either way, it's going to be a throw-in, and it's going to be Charlotte Salisbury-Williams to take the throw. She's another key player for Worcester as well, Dan Sunfield, isn't she? Her experience, like we said earlier before.
Yeah, even though she's playing at the back, she's in amongst the goals.
She definitely has been the serve of a lot of those Worcester players, and that's going to go out for a goal kick.
Yeah, as I was saying, I think for Gloucester, at the moment, I think it's about making sure they don't concede. And I think as well for Worcester, but you could tell from how they're playing at the moment that Worcester probably are the more superior side. Would you agree?
Yeah, they are, and even again, as we've said, they've held this game. They've won this game 3 years on the trot, so they are coming in as the stronger favourites. Gloucestershire are almost coming in as the underdogs here, aren't they? As this goal kick gets taken, up it goes, and once again does not go as far. It lands straight into Worcester hands, but Gloucestershire retain the rebound. No, they don't. It's one back again. Worcestershire have it back. In it comes, cleared away, and it's booted away. Gloucestershire just finding themselves pinned back, just having chosen Worcester Storm, but they do have possession again. Light blue number 6 plays it towards midfield, it bounces around. Gloucestershire looking to pounce on the counter by the looks of it. But again, that counter is stopped as play is brought back by Worcester, and it plays across to the far side. Worcester just looking to find a way to carve Gloucester through, but just retaining possession for the time being. Back up towards the right hand side it goes as they march in off the wing. Gloucestershire once again in retreat. Numbers coming in towards the penalty box. It doesn't quite reach its intended destination. Light blue number 7, she takes it forward, wins possession back,
Well
then
played.
just starts with a burst of speed, comes back down the side, back where Worcester came from, bumps her off, carries on going, but Worcester win possession back, and it goes back to the keeper.
Yeah, good play from Salisbury Williams there. Or 4 Gloucester from the attack, but brilliant challenge put back to the keeper.
Yeah, it's just starting to open up slightly as if subs
But that, as I
tries
said,
to get there.
It could benefit Gloucester, couldn't it? It definitely could.
It could do.
Again, as I said earlier, while Worcester might be the more superior side, it's like David and Goliath. You just don't know, anything can happen.
It's like I said, it's almost like a university equivalent of an FA Cup final. You never know what's going to happen in this game.
But here we have a corner to Worcester.
Yeah, let's see. This is going to be Ella May to take this out. First corner of the game. Arm goes up. And he comes. They're quite sparse in around the penalty spot. They've crowded the keeper, and it's bouncing around, and it's gone over. And it was Annie Seamay, the captain, who had a shot at that. Couldn't quite. She leapt back on it, Dan. Do you think maybe she just needed to lean forward a little bit more?
Yeah, you're spot on stuff there. I think it's a brilliant ball in, and I think Annie Sim wished it better there. Brilliant ball in, but I think maybe lean a bit more forward, and she could have more gone on target, I think.
She could have done.
Big chance there for Worcester.
And again, with that corner, you might see, it was almost like they were they were quite spursing around that penalty box. Then they were crowding the keeper. Do you think that was a deliberate tactic?
Oh, definitely. You see it nowadays. You see all the teams crowd the keeper in football. I'm not surprised to do it there because it looked like they had a big chance. That was stuff.
Yeah, it was, and maybe just warning signs for Gloucestershire. Worcester have the ball at the back though. There, number 5. There's it towards the dark blue number 4. She plays it back across to the opposite side, back towards the right it goes. They've had a lot of enjoyment. Number 6 has it back to where it came from. There goes the long ball forward, and she can't quite get there. Liv Stubbs just asking a bit much of her there as it carries on all the way through, and the keeper takes comfortably.
Yeah, once again you see the ball over the top there to Stubbs, and she couldn't quite reach it. But what I would say is, I know in the middle it's Evans really doing a good role at the moment for Worcester.
Yeah, number 16, dark blue. There comes the number 10. Pass it out wide to the number 17.
Yeah, Ellis and Evans in the middle, they look really good for Worcester so far, and I think that's where Gloucester needs to try and take that control back in a way, don't they?
Yeah, they do. They do need to try and regain control of the game. It's not been too great. They're Gloucestershire Blues number 5.
I wouldn't say that Worcester have threatened too much though, would you?
No, they have had their chances. You know, they've not been too bad. And it's Danny Rogers playing at number 5. Sorry, I had a technical error, but anyway, Worcestershire do have a chance, and it's going to be an effort, and it's gone in. It's in. Worcester lead. Kay Haggett.
And it's an absolute wonder strike. What a goal that is by Haggett. She won't forget that one in a hurry, and it's 1-0 to Worcester.
And it's a hurricane from Haggett that's opened the scoring. But Gloucestershire do have a player down, though.
Yeah, we said then, I'll be honest with you, a bit too much time and space in the middle, wasn't it there, Soph? And it's a brilliant goal into the top left-hand corner.
The way she just turned, and it was so into the corner, the keeper had no chance. I don't think the keeper saw it coming. She's just turned and gone bang. And oh my goodness, boy, has that flown in. And it's 1-0 to the visitors. And now Gloucestershire have to respond somehow.
Yeah, I think before I said the fact that the midfield has been controlled too much by Worcester. And you saw that then, a bit too much time and space for Haggett. And she's got her foot, what's her right foot, and into the corner.
I generally thought the pace was a little bit too slow, but it was out of the keeper's reach and it just flew in. And Gloucestershire now have to respond. 1-0 down. What do you do now? If you're the captain, what do you do in this situation? You're 1-0 down from a strike. You're 1-0 down at home in a big game, and you realise that they've lost this game as well. So how does the captain regroup the players on field and get them back in?
Yeah, I think Charlie Donovan, the captain, I think she'll be telling them right now not to lose their heads a little bit here. I know that they have been in the game. They haven't really laid much onto Worcester, but they've kept in it for the majority part. They will now know that they can't let them shoot from far out. There have been glimpses of it, and we just saw it then, a brilliant strike by Haggett. But all they've got to do is get the ball, play around a bit, get more confidence under themselves.
But yeah, well, hang on. Gloucestershire do have a player coming off. Just trying to work out who it is. I believe it is I believe it is Daisy Touchett. I think the wing forward. Well, anyway, Gloucestershire do have a player down. We're not quite sure who it is just as yet, but once we know, we'll come and let you know.
But yeah, as we were saying, this is the big moment for Gloucester. They've got to make sure their heads don't drop at this point.
Yeah, it is huge, and it is a massive moment for them.
Macy Fox gets back underway here.
Yeah, Macy Fox to resume play. Still just trying to find out who that injury was. We'll bring that to you live when we can. Anyway, Gloucestershire do have a chance though. And it's number 11. Plays it out to the right. They're coming forward. Gloucestershire steps inside. Could have an effort, and it's denied. Here's the second chance, and it's in.
It's got in.
Gloucestershire level, and that is exactly the response they wanted. Gloucestershire equalised almost immediately. Worcester had 3 warnings from the counter-attack. They obviously haven't responded to it. And just as Gloucestershire had an injury, they've come back and responded. Dan Summerfield.
Yeah, brilliant from Macy Fox. I'm pretty sure the ball goes on to the right hand. She cuts inside, and fair play. She's put onto the keeper's shot. She luckily got it back, and it's a cool, composed finish into the bottom corner.
Now all of a sudden we have a game on our hands. We're still looking to blue. Dark blue number 4.
The crowd has risen, Suff. This is what we like to see. This is perfect for Gloucester at this moment, to be honest with you. I said they can't let their heads drop. They've got to get back into it. And that is exactly what they've done.
But Dan, they've done it just after an injury for them. They literally had a player go down, and they've gone up the field and scored. But now here come Worcester, looking to respond immediately. Gloucestershire out doing the moves of confidence. They sit back again though, and allow Worcester to come back onto them with an effort. And that's just over the bar.
Yeah, this is exactly what Gloucester wants at the moment, exactly what they want. You can tell that has rumbled Worcester a little bit, I would say, and because of that, they've got a major chance in this game.
It really has, and I think this game is now back on.
Yeah, it was
really
Cassie Evans with a strike there just over the bar, but that's what they've got to be warned about. They've scored 1, they could score another if they're not careful.
It is 1-1, and now the crowd's starting to go. This game is on. 1-1 up to pace. Worcester win possession back, but that will do them a whole ton of good, surely. And you can just hear the Gloucestershire fans almost singing a song that is England reminiscent. And it was Macy Fox. It was Dan. I'll have to let you know they've actually awarded the goal. It was Macy Fox with the effort.
Yes,
She's
I
done
thought
it
I said
again.
2 is Macy Fox. She's a goal scoring up top for a reason.
She has, and she always steps up on the big occasion, does she? And she's definitely stepped up here. Anyway,
Big chance here though. It's Salisbury Williams stepping over this, it looks like.
well, anyway,
Or is it?
Worcestershire.
Big chance.
Worcester with a free kick just outside. Here's an effort, and it's gone way wide off the goal.
It's a brilliant ball in there from Salisbury Williams. It was just waiting there to be attacked, but no one was there, were they?
Well, the thing is, Dan, I will say there was 3 attacks where they went 1-on-1 with the keeper. Surely Worcester would have been aware of that by now, but surely not. And like I said, Gloucester have come back and they've equalised, and half an hour played here, and it's 1-1. So for those of you that are just joining the stream, Varsity 2026, Gloucestershire have just equalised, and we are locked at 1 apiece with 15 minutes left to go until half time.
Yeah, I think they want to make sure they stay on top of Stubbs on the right-hand side and Salisbury Williams on the left side and left back, I'm pretty sure. And they're doing well at the moment. They've got themselves back in the game, and then, as I said, they're going to be a bit more confident, aren't they?
Who knows? But all I will say now is next goal, whichever way it goes, will be crucial in this game. Worcester come on the left-hand side, but there's no trouble there. Light blue number 16 turns away. Fantastic bit of skill. Plays it out wide. Gloucestershire coming back onto the ball. Plays it down the right, but no one there. It's the Worcestershire back line doing its job as they take control of it and control possession.
Brilliant composed there from Marriott.
Anyway, Worcestershire launched the ball forward, and it's just going back all the way, hands into the Gloucestershire keeper.
Yeah, you can tell here the atmosphere's rising there after that Gloucester goal, especially from our side with the Gloucester fans next to us. You can feel it, can't you, Suf?
Definitely can. It's all quite loud. I can barely hear myself up in the commentary box. It really is a fantastic atmosphere at the Kate Lane. And you know, you have to admit, light blue number 4. She'll take the throw in. And that's Emma Wasikovic off Gloucestershire there. She'll have a go, takes the throw. Plays it back. And here come Gloucestershire again. Surely not, no.
Mind you, I would say is Macy Fox. She's a real threat to Worcester side, isn't she?
She really has. Macy Fox, since that goal, she's actually had a really good season. She tends to sometimes vary in midfield. She's played at that in other games, especially in the league, but she's more up front, and you can see by the stats she's scored quite a few goals this season for the side. Some of these players as well for Gloucestershire were a part of the incredible season that they had last year, building up to the varsity, where they had an invincible run.
Yep.
And some of those players will want to take that with confidence. Obviously last year at the varsity they lost, but knowing that they can win games, how important is that? And they've had another good season again this season as well.
No, they have indeed, and I think I've noticed Macy Fox, she does love it shooting on the right foot, and that's the one thing that Worcester can't do.
Well, anyway,
they can't make sure if she has time on the right foot, she's always going to have a pop on goal.
Gloucester just had a free kick cleared away, but they win it back just for the centre circle. What's in number 5? Back in it comes. It's headed. No, it's not headed away. It's just bouncing down. And what's the referee going to give there? He's giving it to Worcester, I think. I think it's thrown Worcester's way. Oh, it's a free kick. So we have got a restricted view down the far side. Let's see, got ball in. Hang on a minute. Could have an opportunity here. Headed away. Now it's Gloucestershire's turn to weather a storm. Back out comes to Wasikovic. And it'll have an effort. Hang on, it's dinked onto the edge of the box. And Worcester will calmly try and get possession away. As they will. Keeper comes out and will deal with the situation comfortably. And it's Millie Powell doing a fantastic job in that goal. It's away. I believe number 16. Macy Fox turns. Can she find some skill? Finds her other option. Light blue number 7. Did that go out of play? No? Yes, it did. Referee's just calling it back for a throw-in.
Yeah, Gloucester are doing exactly what I just said. Put them under a bit of pressure stuff. That's exactly what they've got to do at this point. But it just depends. If Worcester can play the football they want to play, then it could change the game completely. But at the moment, they're making it a bit more scrappy, putting a bit of pressure on Worcester, which I don't think they're used to.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly it, Dan. You have hit it spot on the nail. And but anyway, that goal. I mean, next goal surely got to be vital, hasn't it? It's going to be a crucial goal for whoever scores it.
Would you say that the Gloucester have grown into the game, though? I think they definitely have.
I think they went 1-0 down, and unlike Worcester, when they went 1-0 down in the men's game earlier, who sat back, Gloucestershire just came back forward, and I think the timing of that goal as well, like I said, you know, they had an injury beforehand, and literally just went up the field and scored. Normally, a team will set back and wait for themselves to make amends. But here they come again, though. Macy Fox taking charge as she has done before. No, is she onside? Onside. The linesman didn't put the flag up. Oh, he was. He's a bit late to put the flag up, so it was offside in the end. I think she just mistimed her run. The pass from Macy Evans maybe just needed to wait a little bit.
Yeah, it seems he gets caught out in the middle from the Gloucestershire midfield, and again, that's what they need to do more of.
Yeah, they do. They do, indeed. Anyway, Worcester will take
As you can
possession.
tell from the viewers at home, it is raining at the moment. Do you think that's having much to play of?
Listen, Dan, this is grassroots football and it's a varsity game. They will play in rain or shine. This is our beautiful game and this is the best thing about it. So, anyway, game continues. Gloucestershire have possession of the ball. Plays it wide. Can't get there. That's their number 6. And now Worcestershire coming forward again. But Gloucestershire win possession back. Light blue number 8 gets there. Evans manages to take control. Plays it back and plays it back to the keeper as they look to play safe. And she plays it out from the back. Interesting season for Gloucestershire, hasn't it, Dan Summerfield? You can take us through more on that.
Yeah, Gloucester, they've had a really good season, haven't they? I know they're second place in the Western Tier 1, so it's been a really good season, just finishing behind the Cardiff University. They had 24, Gloucester had 21. Overall, 7 wins and 3 losses. It's a really good record for Gloucester.
It really has been as well, and especially with the goalkeepers. They've had 6 clean sheets. 1 penalty saved was against Cardiff, and they conceded 4 goals. So that's been another good season in terms of the back line and the goalkeeping department as well. Rachel Goodman as well, by the way, has a 95% tackle rating, I should have you know, Dan, so she could be another key part for Gloucestershire's rock-solid back line.
What I would say there, before the game today, I forgot to mention, I was expecting goals, and so far that is exactly what we're getting. I know that Gloucester, their biggest win was 6-0 against the table toppers Cardiff, whereas Worcester, they had, I'm not even joking, a 21-1 win against Staffordshire Uni.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of Worcestershire scores have been known to be almost cricket scores. And I think it just shows how strong they are in their league. They're almost like the Man City of their league. They're almost the equivalent of that, you could say, when you look at the recent results. Anyway, they come forward now down to the left-hand side. Number 3 has it. Takes it right towards the byline.
Yeah, really good play there from Salisbury Williams, taking it to Gloucester there. Again, a decent throw-in on the far side of the pitch.
Yeah, she's had a good run. I've noticed as well, Worcester predominantly are having a lot of fun down that specific hand side of the field. And I think Gloucestershire will look to amend that, especially in the second half. 5 minutes left to go until half time. In comes the throw in. It's bounced over 1 or 2 heads. Worcester have it. And which way does that go?
Yeah, looks as though Alexa Moore putting herself about there, getting a corner for Worcester. They have looked good though from corners.
They have. Gloucestershire will look to defend this. Let's just see how this one
It'll be
goes.
hot.
And it's going to be Kay Haggett to take the corner. And it comes. Oh, she doesn't swing it in. It gets played out. And in it comes. It's gone all the way. And it's just gone over. And who's that at the back post? They have a player down.
Yeah, again, it's a brilliant bit of play from us too. They know that they're really good at corners at the moment, so rather than putting the box, they've gone straight to Salisbury Williams, who's put a brilliant ball into the back post, and unfortunately, they couldn't be clinical and finish it.
Well, we do have medics onto the field. Who's that that's gone down? Let's have a look.
Big chance, though, I must say.
It is. Just trying to have a look at who it was it went down. She hit the post. She definitely hit that post quite hard. The medical fields are out onto the field now. I think teams will just have a slight little break here. What do you think that the two sides will be saying in this little regroup?
I'll start with Gloucester. I think Gloucester, realistically, it's more of the same they've got to do here. I think they've got themselves back into the game since the equaliser. I think with Worcester, they've seen the threat they have on the wings, but they need to see more of it. I think they need to realistically put more people into the box, because they've seen that from the left-hand side. I think that Salisbury Williams can put a good ball in, but not looking clinical at this moment in time.
Yeah, it really is. But anyway, there's going to be a slight delay here. We have a player
We
down.
hope all is okay, by the way. We hope all is okay.
Hmm?
We hope all is okay with the injured player at this moment in time.
Yeah, we do, and there's going to be a definite amount of stoppage time added on here. Referee just causing a pause to proceedings. Players stretching their legs. Medics coming on field. I think it's I believe it is what would be to be called a concussion.
It's been a brilliant first half, though, hasn't it, Soph? It's been absolutely brilliant.
It has. I will say, the first few minutes started off a little bit cagey, and then Worcester opened the scoring. Gloucestershire fans started to go a little bit quiet. We had an injury then, and they came up the field and equalised. And since the equaliser, the temperature of this game and pace has just ramped up. It is a classic varsity and cup encounter that we are witnessing here so far at Kate Lane, and it's actually a pleasure to sit here and do this.
No, definitely, Surf. It was Haggy, wasn't it, that got the first goal for Worcester. It was a brilliant strike into the top left corner. That got the ball rolling for the game, I feel like, and it really switched on. Gloucester knew they had to put something on to Worcester, and that's exactly what they did through Macy Fox.
Yeah, Macy Fox, the goal scorer, putting them in front just before levelling the score just before the half-hour mark. I apologise. Just trying to see who that is coming off as play resumes. Llewellyn takes it down the left, and was the offside? Linesman's put his flag up on that hand side. It did go out of play. And I believe, yeah, just got an injury update. It was Annie Seamay. It's the captain that's had to come off. So
she is still on. She is still on in the middle at the moment. Apologies about that. We will find out for you very shortly as May comes over to take the throw-in.
Yeah, no, sorry, it wasn't number 6. It was Liv Stubbs, number 7, and she's going to come back into the field of play, and she's back into the action as they call. Fox takes charge now, sprints inside. Is there a through ball on? She can't quite find it. It's blocked by the Worcester barriers. Out the back. Now through come Worcester. Hobbs, who looks like she's back onto it already after coming off of that. And it comes. That's a good ball in, and it's over the bar.
Yeah, big chance for Cassie Evans, that was. I think it's Stubbs who's come back on the pitch, and she got a bit of jeering from the Gloucester faithful here. But she didn't mind that at all. She put a brilliant ball in to keep the ball in play, actually. Brilliant from her at the moment. And she's proven a bit of fall into the Gloucester side. Brilliant ball in the box. And it was Cassie Evans who couldn't be clinical enough to make it 2-1.
Yeah, the fact that she's just got up and got back into the game is fantastic. Anyway, Gloucester with a goal kick. Ball bounces forward. Referee has just called play back. It's going to be the number 11, number 9 takes it. Forward it goes.
Looks off a hand there.
That's what I thought, but the
I think it was too
referee
close to the
waves play on. Accusations waved away. It goes out, and it's going to be.
Yeah, good challenge from Haggard there to stop the Gloucester play coming forward. We got Worcester thrown, haven't we?
Yes, we do. Just letting you listen to some noise. It's not a Worcester throw, sorry. It's actually Gloucestershire throw. Kirillov and Milwakovic takes the throw, bounces up and away. They play it back, and Worcester looking to play the ball forward now. And then it comes to light blue number 4.
They've settled a bit more, Worcester, haven't they? They've settled a bit more.
Yeah, they significantly have. Now Worcester come back. Lip Hobbs, the returner from the field. Here it comes. UOG looking to hold out the storm. What's that? I think it's given a corner, hasn't it?
Yeah, he's given a corner here. It's brilliant play from Stubbs, playing some more on the left-hand side of the pitch. And it's won Worcester a corner.
Gloucestershire will look not to concede for half-time. They'll be looking to hold this out. There is going to be a few minutes of injury time due to that stoppage. Not sure how long there is exactly, but whatever happens, Gloucestershire will just look to hold on, or maybe even score. Anyway, the defenders crowd around. There's quite a few inside the penalty area. Kate Haggett is the one they'll be looking out for.
Yeah. Again, you can see there what Haggett was trying to do with the ball into the box, but it didn't quite come off, did it?
No, not quite what they wanted. And again, is that a part of the wind factor playing its part here?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of the wind playing a factor, but also I think it's a bit of frustration. I think Worcester know they probably had maybe one or two of the better chances, and I wouldn't say that they should be in the lead at this point, but I think they'll know that into the second half there's points where they can improve and put a bit more pressure onto Gloucester.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with you the same. The goal kick, again, the goal kick just needs to travel a little bit further, unless that's a deliberate ploy that Gloucester's going to sit back. But this is what happens, as Worcester will just come straight back at them. But do you think Gloucestershire will mind that? Do you think they're okay to sit back at Worcestershire? But forget that. They've won possession back. Now back forward they come. Or as forward as they can get. Worcester win possession back. And it gets played back towards the keeper.
Yeah, it was Donovan there who got caught out in the mid, and I thought for a second that Worcester had a massive chance on their hands.
Yeah, it really is, and she's going to go for it, and the keeper, oh, hang on. And no, she'll be looking to hold on to that, the keeper, wouldn't she, Dan?
Yeah, she would have. You saw straight away from Salisbury Williams' eyes that she was going to go for it, weren't she?
She saw the keeper off the line. They aren't too tall, the keeper, so Salisbury Williams saw her off the line, went for it. Keeper just couldn't quite hang on. But anyway, Gloucestershire will look to hold this out.
Yeah, it was a good attempt there. Good attempt. You saw the keeper was under pressure big time.
Anyway, Worcester corner. For just a few minutes. Okay, Haggett to take. And it's hoofed away. And it's hoofed out. Now to light blue number 9. Plays it out. Fox turns around again. Tries to take control. Tries to drive the team forward. She plays it out right. A good ball into the box. Headed away. And back out it comes. And now Worcester will clear the danger. It's just end to end. Now hang on a minute. There was a collision there.
It was Donovan who tried to clear the ball.
It was Donovan who went in. And it's Alexa Moore that's gone down. It was the Gloucestershire captain that went in with a hefty challenge. And the referee is just going to bring back proceedings. And this will add on to the injury time. We're going in towards 50 minutes down Summerfield of the first half.
Yeah, it's been a really good first half. I'm not too sure about that there. I think it's a bit of a coming together. The ball's gone in the air. I think they both can commit to it. And it looks like that Alexa Moore's come out worse. Hope she's okay. But yeah, you could tell that Donovan was in a bit of pressure there. And I think the only best thing to do was clear it.
Well, she had to commit herself, Donovan, didn't she? Otherwise, Alexa Moore was going to be on goal. So she had to go and do something. But the question whether it was a foul or not, that will be a question that is yet to be answered. That is a decision purely down to the referee and of human side. He's obviously decided it's just a coming together, and it's important as well, Dan. If you're a referee, you've got to understand what the players are trying to achieve.
No, definitely, Suf, definitely. And what I would say from the referee's part, he's let the game flow. He's let the game flow really, really well so far, which is why we've seen it so much attacking football at the moment. It's been so open to play just because the referee's letting things go, not always blowing his whistle, and because of that, more chances are happening.
Yeah, and again, I think the players will realise that and understand that. But we are coming in, folks. It is not half time just yet. We have had 2 players down. That is why it's been so long. If you are joining us just before the break, we haven't had one yet because of the 2 players that have gone down. We are in injury time.
And we would love to know: are you enjoying the live stream?
I am. But for those who are just joining, Worcester did score earlier on to put themselves in front, and then Gloucestershire responded immediately through Macy Fox with a fantastic counter-attack which ended up in the back of the net to bring it 1-1, and that is how it stands so far. So if you're joining the game, joining at a crucial point, 1-1, game on.
Yeah, I think for Gloucester's side of view here, I think they're hoping to go into half-time 1-1. I think they'll be happy with that. I know Worcester have had their better spells of the game, but I think they would like to get in and go through team plan and think to themselves, right then, Worcester under a bit of pressure here, let's go at them.
Well, they'll be looking to go into half-time whenever half-time comes. But anyway, play on, says referee, and play does go on. Worcester have it on to the wing. And header ball, headed forward. Kira Llewellyn's name being chanted again. Fantastic stuff.
Yeah, that is half-time.
Sorry, Dan Summerfield just there. But it is half-time though anyways. And, you know, Worcestershire opened the scoring. They took the lead. Gloucestershire had a player down and immediately responded. There have been very few chances at either end. But half-time here at Kate Lane. It is Gloucestershire 1, Worcester 1.
I think in a minute we are going to go to the pitch for some interviews.
Yeah, we are. Just media team will go down towards pitch side. They'll do the interviews. Gloucestershire in.
I can tell from the Gloucester side of things here, they're very happy with so far's performance, aren't you?
They are. You can see the players smiling. They know they're in this game. They know they are in for a 45-minute battle, and it's 1-1. The goalkeeper being called into action. I mean, she'll look back on that goal that went in first, and you know she'll know. You've got to appreciate that goal though, the first half, to put Worcester in front. Down. What a strike that!
What a strike it was indeed. It was Haggett in the middle of the park, putting it into the top left-hand corner. What a finish it was to open the scoring. Before Gloucester hit straight back, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. But I tell you what, with that goal that put Worcester in front, now. They say you can watch goals for years and years to come. I'm sure she'll watch that bomb back and realise that turn. She'll explain that to her kids later. She'll explain that to her future generations. She'll be like, that turn and that strike. She hit it sweetly, and you could see how sweet it went in. It went right into the top corner. The keeper had absolutely no chance. But Gloucestershire, like you said, responded immediately despite the injury and the player going down. And it's 1-1, and we could be in for a really, really tasty second half. It sets up what is supposed to be a tasty varsity game.
No, definitely, and I think you do notice in the games, as soon as you score, you're most likely to concede when you've just scored a goal, and that is exactly what happened.
It is, and they do say that is when you're at your weakest defensively. When you've just gone 1-0 up, you think, here we go. But Gloucestershire have come back. It could be a story of, you know, recent games where some teams have had to come from behind to win games, and who knows, this could be another classic. Dan, there is a possibility, ladies and gentlemen, just for explanation, there is no extra time. If the game does finish level at the end of the regulation period, it is straight to a penalty shootout. So just to let people know, no extra time if the scores are level at the end of the extra period, straight to penalties.
But yeah, so far it's been a real joy to watch this first half. I would say though that the breaks in play have probably made a difference.
I think that will help them now, won't it? It'll help the players, having those breaks to play. It'll help them energy-wise going out into the second half. Key question is now, what do you expect from both sides coming into the second half? What do you expect from early on? What do you expect towards the latter stages?
What I would say for Gloucester, do more of the same thing, making sure that you take ownership of the middle park. That is exactly what Worcester were doing for the first 15 minutes, 20 minutes of the game. You could tell Worcester were on top of many points, and I think straight away when they get the ball, they want to pull onto the left flank or the right, onto the wing, and want to make a difference. But they haven't done as much that in towards the end period of the first half, and that is the reason why that Gloucester is still in this game. They've really battled well, and they've made it a contest, and that's what I think Worcester aren't used to at this moment. Of course, we said before the game that Worcester are doing really well in the league. They got to the semi-finals of the Cup, but they're not used to teams putting them under pressure, and when they do seem to struggle.
They do, and the teams tend to panic and they tend to back move. We did see a lot when Worcester were coming forward. Gloucestershire almost just came running back towards the penalty box. Dan, what do you think?
Yeah, I think for Gloucester, what they've got to do this moment in time, they've got to catch Worcester on the counter. We saw that from the goal that they scored to equalise, and I think more of the same needs to happen. I think it's Macy Fox up top who's really been a threat to them at the moment in time, and the one thing I've got to mention is I think it's Charlie Donovan at the back. She's got to make sure that they shore up things at the back at points where Worcester are really putting the pressure on, but they shouldn't seem to quake. I know that at the moment, if there's more space in the middle which they've had, they might have more shots, Worcester, and that's where they got their goal from. So they need to cut that out.
Yeah, they did, and it's not even in the box. It's actually, you'd have noticed in the game, they were more long-range shots as well, and the goal was a long-range shot too.
It was a goal to save it, wasn't it? But yeah, the atmosphere here is, as they say, electric. It's been brilliant so far from both ends. And there was nice little celebrations in the Gloucester end when the goal went in, wasn't there?
Yeah, I will admit, obviously before the game it was a little bit sort of coming in, the atmosphere was a little bit similar. But then as the game went on, the people started coming in. We had a few Worcester fans that tried to make their way into the Gloucestershire end.
But yeah, we should maybe have an interview coming shortly before the second half commences. So yes, a very enjoyable first half. Very enjoyable. We'll also recap on the game from earlier, the men's football. The final score there was Gloucestershire University 1, Worcester University 0. The goal from Elijah in the second half, the substitute. Brilliant counter-attacking move that put into the bottom right corner, winning it for Gloucester. Finally, a win for Gloucester men's.
Yeah, and Dan, who knows? It could be a super sub day.
You never know, Suf. Of course, at this moment in time, Worcester are leading in varsity, but a win here today as well could change it around and put Worcester more under pressure.
Indeed it can. Indeed it potentially can. And that is the difference of points. But yeah, we did have a new... quite a few chances in that first half, although it was very sparse. And Gloucestershire will take some confidence from that. They'll take confidence from the equaliser. The captain's got to go in there, regroup. Then I think both players will be in their changing room saying, just go for it now, push for the next 45. I don't think either side will want to settle for penalties, Dan.
No, I think that both teams will want to win it in normal time. I don't think anybody wants the pressure of penalties. We know how much of a difference that really makes. But as I said, I think Gloucester want to do more of the same. I know Worcester, they know what Worcester's capabilities are, don't they? And I think going into the second half, they want to make sure that they condemn them down to not too many shots on their own goal, but just do more of the same of what they're doing. You can tell that Worcester aren't happy and they're getting frustrated the points, the amount of corners into the box. You saw from Haggett's corners, they're getting frustrated, they're putting balls into the box, but they're not always going where they want them to.
Yeah, no, it really has. It really has been quite an open game. It started off quite cagey in the first 10 minutes, but other than that, it's been fairly open. So, yeah, it's been quite an open game, hasn't it, Dan? What do you think of your first half so far?
Yeah, it's been brilliant. I was just going to mention, it was Elijah McDonald with the winning goal for Gloucester men's. A brilliant finish from him earlier. Brilliant to see for Ben Brown and the crew of Gloucester. Brilliant win for them.
And especially for the likes of Ben Brown, going into the final year as well. So this would be his last varsity for now. unless future says so otherwise. But for those who are in their final year, how important do you think it is to finish off on a high?
I think it's really important. Of course, many of these players have played pretty much the majority of the varsities, and they want to go out with a bang, won't they?
Yeah, they quite surely will, and it will be a memory, because you forget it's memories that people treasure for a lifetime, Dan, isn't it? It really is.
Yeah, and we're here, and you can tell how much it means to them. I know Charlie Donovan, the captain for the day, is her last varsity. She was gutted for losing the futsal, but she's hoping to win this one today. Of course she is, and they've got a big chance.
Yeah, they have indeed. And just for anyone that is missing out on the varsity action, you can catch up on the UOG SU YouTube page. If you go on there and subscribe, they are live. All of it's being streamed live this week. So if you want to keep across updates, follow the Park Life Sport, where there should be some updates on there as well. Look out for Gloucestershire Live as well. John Palmer May, the football writer, might just be putting up a piece later today, so keep your eyes out for that. But come and join the UOGSU page on YouTube and across various different platforms where you can get live stream and live updates. Dan, how many people do you think you've got watching the stream?
Who knows, but thank you to every single one of you for watching. The Worcester players are now back on the pitch early. I can tell that they're raring and ready to go. I'm sure that this second half they'll be wanting more of the same. Bit more pressure onto Gloucester.
Yeah, they
Let's get that elusive second goal.
They surely will be wanting to do some of that. It is 1-1 at half time. We are just waiting on some interviews.
There's more rain on the pitch now, though, Stuff.
Yeah,
people got their coats on, as you can tell. People walking onto the pitch now.
There is, and I think I can just see our colleagues getting ready beside me, but there's just a few technical issues at the minute, so you are going to have to bear with us just before we switch on.
So you'll be hearing more of Suffy and Belmore's voice.
Not that many people will want to hear that, Dan.
I'm sure they will, Stuff. I'm sure they will. But fair play to the Worcester fans who have come here today.
You got to admit to that, but Dan, this is football.
Jam-packed day so far. It's now raining. The teams are about to come back inside. Morgan, you've been sat taking pictures. What do you make of the game so far?
I think the conditions here have really played a big part. You see a lot of goal kicks just going wayward. There's been a lot of players going down as well. I don't know if that's the Astro, and the conditions here aren't great. But in terms of the action, I think Worcester have dominated the ball. I think we expected that. They've won the last few games and they've been the more dominant side. But to be fair to Gloucester, they've had their moments and they took their chance when it came. And I think 1-1's probably a fair assessment going into that second half.
Yeah, definitely, and I think it's nice that we've got the crowd here as well. So we didn't have the crowd for the men's football, but I think the atmosphere has been incredible so far. What do you make of the atmosphere and the vibes that people are bringing to the day?
Yeah, I think it's good. As you said earlier, unfortunately the men's game didn't get to have anything like this, but I think we've seen across all the days of varsity so far that if people come, they're going to make noise, and they've been making noise all game.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, and the players are inside. Hopefully we can get some of them after the game, but we're all going to have to stay tuned for the rest of the match. I think it's going to be a really good one. Obviously 1-1 so far. I'm looking forward to it. You looking forward to it?
I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully a few more goals in the second half.
We can only hope, but the teams are coming back out now, so we're going to throw back to the commentators and bring you more of the action.
Yeah, we are back, and I think the teams are just starting to come out for the second half.
Yeah, Worcester are back out. Gloucester not just of yet, but I'm sure they'll be taking their time. They'll be going through what they want to do this second half to get the all-elusive win at Varsity.
Yeah, and that is what they need. And they will be looking to make some sort of history. What do you think, Dan? It's been a 3-year wait.
It's been a long way, but they're halfway there. They're halfway there. They need to get that second goal and take more control of this game. We know the threat that Worcester pose, and they've dealt with it really well. But it just depends on how they go into the second half. They're going to be tired legs, and you just got to hope for their part they do more of the same.
Yeah, that is going to be that's going to be the key, isn't it? That's going to be the key to what I think is still, if people are willing to tune in, still going to be a fantastic game. We have got a fantastic 45 minutes ahead of us here. Get yourselves ready, strap yourselves in, buckle up if you're watching on the live, cancel your plans. We have got a varsity second half, and it looks set to have a recipe for a tasty second half. It's showtime for the second half.
Yeah, that's it, Sophie. Showtime at Kate Lane.
We're set. Two teams will hurdle. They know that it could be 45 minutes or more away from something. Worcester potentially 45 minutes or more away from a historic quadruple. Gloucestershire 45 minutes or more away from emerging from the shadows that have casted over them for the past few years.
They'll be wanting a double today, especially the men's team winning earlier. I'm sure that has given them much more motivation. They will need to win this match.
Yes, they will. And watching that men's team earlier did bring some joy on their face. Now the question is, the men's team brought them joy. Can they do the same question? Stick on the live, stick on the stream. The answer shall be with you shortly. And we are prepared.
Moments away. We're moments away here from another 45 minutes of your Varsity Women's Football Cup final.
Yeah, and it should be ready to go. Referee, a quick look at the watch, blow the whistle, and we're off and underway. The second half.
Anasime gets us underway in this second half.
Yep, she does. And it down. Clear the way. Now here come Gloucestershire. They will look to pounce early. They will look to strike early on. They come down that left-hand side. They come down that right-hand. Sorry, that is down the untied, tackled, and away it goes. And it'll be back into Worcester possession. I do apologise for my mispronunciation there.
That's exactly what Gloucester want. They want to put them under a bit of pressure second half. They start off strong and go at them. You saw them on the left-hand side there. It's a great challenge, but we want to see more of it.
Yeah, indeed you do. Is that it? That is the other way. It's moved forward. That back line.
Brilliant challenge there by Donovan. That is exactly what you want from your captain.
Captains lead from the front. Let's clear the way. Hoofed up into the air. Fox takes control. She goes forward. And Worcester are able to deal with it. They'll just look to play gently out from the back so far. And I think that caught number 3 in the face, didn't it? But the play goes on, no matter. Come down. They're going to come down that left-hand side. Back side, and it's going to go back into Gloucestershire possession. Back down the field it comes. And it should ideally go back to the keeper, but no, she turns. Fantastic piece of skill to turn away from the attacker and play it back. Now Worcester come through the midfield. That's a fantastic ball out to the right, but it's intercepted. Gloucestershire retain possession again, and it's going to go out for a throw.
Yeah, brilliant play there from Marriott, winning the ball back for Worcester. And that's exactly, again, you want to make sure at this moment in time you put the centre-backs and the defence in general under a bit of pressure, because at this moment in time we're not seeing enough pressure being put on from either side.
No, neither. I think we saw that in the men's game, didn't we, where Gloucestershire were practically all over and Worcester dominated, and they didn't quite press Gloucestershire as much as we thought they would, even when they went 1-0 down. They almost sat back and thought, well, let's just hold this out.
Yeah, they did, and I think that's what Gloucester can't afford to do with this Worcester side, because they can score goals.
Anyway, and it's
gone in!
Speaking of goals, Worcester have broken through.
Yeah, it's a brilliant fall through, and it's Salisbury Williams with a great little finish on the left foot, past the keeper into the corner. And I'm sure Gloucester will be so frustrated at that. Come out of the blocks a bit better, but it's 2-1 to Worcester.
That is not the start Gloucester would have wanted. Not the start, but for Worcester, It is exactly. And Dan, what did we say about the next goal? How important could that be? Now, Gloucestershire have responded once. They are under a quest now. They could be shattering across. The fans started to get behind them to respond again. Will Worcester hold out or score another, or will Gloucestershire come back again? We restart. Dan, how much of a blow will that be to Gloucestershire, who looked as if they were just going to come into the game?
Yeah, it'd be a massive problem for Gloucester, really. I think, again, they wanted to be a bit more better to start the second half. I'm pretty sure subs come off. Alex Moore's come off, and Emily Phillips, the number 9 for Worcester, has come on.
There we go.
But no, what I would say, it was a brilliant finish, but here we go.
And here we go. Gloucestershire indeed coming back. Down, good ball in, cleared away, and it's not dealt with, and it's over.
Yeah, again, same again from Gloucester. As soon as the goal goes in from Worcester, they're on them straight away, and that's what you want to see. It's a big chance, though.
It was Daisy Tuttiett actually with the effort, the wing forward. So,
but no, as I was saying, it was a brilliant goal by Worcester, and one that realistically could change the game. Could change the game here.
It could. Now the question is, how do Gloucester respond? Worcester look to roll it out from the back, plays it wide. Just a long throw in. Sorry, not a long throw in, long ball in. and
brilliant challenge there from Donovan.
Fantastic stuff. Played back. Donovan again, and he's going to stop playing. The referee brings it back for a free kick.
Yeah, Gloucester will definitely be frustrated, conceding so early into the second half. We're only not even 5 minutes in.
No,
I'm sure that would not be in their team, so it wouldn't have been.
Well, I don't think you would have expected to have conceded a goal so early in the second half, but this can happen. But games do change, and this game is about moments and passion. So, you know, who wins in that department could potentially win the game. You know, if Gloucester could score a second goal, then all of a sudden momentum swings. This game's about momentum, Dan. That's all I will say. But whatever happens, there is always hope for either side. However the game plans out, there is always hope.
There definitely is, and I think what Gloucester needs to do more of is test the goalkeeper Savage in goal.
And that's what they will be looking to do, you would think, now in this situation. 2-1 down, just 50 minutes gone, 5 minutes into the second half. As they Worcester play it back towards their keeper, Harvey Savage. She's had a real good season as well, hasn't she? As we mentioned earlier, 8 clean sheets.
Yeah, she's been brilliant for Worcester so far.
She's been a part of a Worcester side that has had a fantastic season, like we said, unbeaten. They are steamrolling teams. Plays it down the left-hand side, and it's blocked again.
But I think more I mentioned the keeper, I think you've got to mention the back line of Worcester. I think Salisbury Williams, who has got that second elusive goal so far for Worcester, she's looked really, really good. Yeah,
Salisbury Williams alongside Kay Haggart, they have both played vital parts in keeping that in the goal concession department as a clean sheet and keeping it as clean as possible. They have done a fantastic job. Danny Rogers as well, the captain, has done another fantastic job. That whole back line, I think, have been fantastic.
And the ref's coming over it. He is not happy with the Gloucester fans giving it a bit loud. Loud, should you say?
The referee just asking them to calm down a little bit. I think it's just asking them to calm down.
Reminds me of you with the football stuff.
Huh?
Reminds me of you with the football.
Dare I say it? Dare I say it? Football does funny things to people. Anyway, play resumes. Worcester with possession, onto the ball. Number 5 passes it. And there goes
with a lovely ball.
Hobbs. That's a fantastic ball, but it's gone towards Gloucestershire. Gloucestershire with possession. That's a good ball. Oh, that's a fantastic ball. No, is it? Yes, it is. Beautiful ball out that right-hand side. That's a good ball in, and it's no issue for the keeper.
Much better from Gloucester, that is. Much, much better. They need to put more balls into the box. Put them under a bit of pressure, because I think they haven't done too much of that to Worcester so far.
No, they haven't. Not as much, but I'm sure. Yeah, if the scoreline does remain like this, Dan, I'm sure Gloucestershire will look to roll the dice.
100% they will do.
Worcester play it down the far hand side, and for Worcester, 3 wins on the trot, looking to make it a quadruple. That's got to be that fan. You've got to give the coach credit for that. To win 4 varsities in a row, that's a real astonishment and a real credit to the coaching staff and just the team itself, isn't it?
Yeah, I think walking into today, you could tell there's a bit of confidence about the team, couldn't you?
There are, and they're definitely playing with it though. Definitely playing as they bring the ball forward. They hang it, it's a fantastic ball in. And do they deal with it? Keeper's out with it, appeals for a penalty.
And
is it a penalty?
And he's giving it.
He has. A calamity at the back for Gloucestershire, and now Worcester have a penalty. This
I want to say it's Stubbs who's gone into the box. And it looks as though she's gone round the fender. And
it was, and I think it was the keeper's timing of the challenge. I think that was the issue, and that's what the referee didn't like. And now, to have a penalty.
Penalty to Worcester here. Now, this is the big moment. It's exactly what Gloucester didn't want.
Okay. And it's going to be Evans to take.
Big moment.
Casey Evans. Hold the breath, and it's in.
Yeah,
3-1.
brilliant penalty that is from Evans. Cool as you like into the bottom left corner, and I'm sure that will dent the confidence of Gloucester now. Where do they go from here?
Well, I will admit, that was a fantastic penalty into the bottom corner by Evans. Gloucestershire, I think, since that second goal went in, just unravelled. They've sat back, and I think it was a moment of panic where the keeper's just come out. That should have been dealt with, really. That ball should have been dealt with. The keeper should have been able to come and deal with that comfortably. She hasn't. It's a clumsy challenge. The penalty's been put away, and now Gloucestershire are in deep trouble, and they are in a position now where they will have to do something. There has to be a change, surely. Anyway, they will resume and get play underway.
No, I think you'll find that the quality there from Stubbs on the wing and Salisbury Williams is showing their worth in the second half, I would say. And the scoreline at 3-1. Gloucester have got to change it up quick and fast.
It surely is. But again, Dan, funny things have happened in this game. There will need to be changes, yes. It does look like a big scoreline. Miracles are possible. Anyway, here come Gloucestershire though. That's what we needed to see. Down to the right-hand side. That's a good ball in. It's bounced. Oh no! She just needed to divert that into either corner or the other, but the Gloucestershire like number 7, she just needed to get something on it and go either side of the keeper, and it could have been 3-2, but luckily for Worcester, it has gone straight into the keeper's hands. But that is what Gloucestershire need more of. Isn't that right, Dan Summerfield?
Yeah, brilliant ball in. It's exactly what they need to do more of. And I think the ball just bit past her, so she couldn't quite get her foot on it. It's a nice bit of intervention play, getting onto her chest, but it's straight at the goalkeeper.
Yeah, so who knows. Anyway, Worcester look to just retrieve possession. They go forward, but they've given possession away. And here come Gloucestershire playing it. And on the side,
the one thing I can tell, you've got to make sure with Gloucester now that their heads don't drop.
That is key. That is key, Dan. And how, as a captain now, you've just come out. You've conceded early on into the second half. There is an injury down. We'll come back to that. But when you concede so early on in the second half, and then the penalty that the giveaway, the way they did it, and it goes in 3-1. All of a sudden, think about this. You go into half time 1-1. You come out, you're thinking, right, game on. All of a sudden now, you look 10 minutes later at that scoreboard and it says 3-1. What do you do? What do you do to get these players up and running now?
Yeah, it's really frustrating. Of course, the one thing they wouldn't want to do is go into the second half and concede so early, but that's exactly what they've done. And I think for them, like I said a minute ago, they can't let their heads drop. Do more the same they do in the first half. And we saw glimpses in this second half when they're getting the ball in the wide areas, putting the ball into the box, and just test their keeper a bit more, because they have got the quality, Gloucester. But we only see glimpses. We need to see more of it.
They have indeed. Gloucester do have plenty of quality, especially in the likes of Victoria Parker, Macy Fox and Maria Pearson. They do have it as well. They've got it in the likes of Millie Powell. They've got it in the likes of Kira Llewellyn, who we've actually heard her name shouted plenty of times this season. Kira Llewellyn has actually made the most assists this season, and she could play as a potential playmaker and could make a difference in the game. We've heard her name being chanted a lot. We obviously mentioned Rachel Gooden has a 95% tackle rating. Emma Wakikovic, And Freya Coke, she has an 89% pass rate. She's had no goals. She has ability to play across the far, and that helps keep possession. And, you know, just how important do you think that those players are to the game?
Oh, they're so important to both teams. You're going to see that at the moment Donovan is down and she is the leader, the captain for Gloucester. I'm sure they will be hoping that she hopefully is okay and can continue. But both sides, there's over half an hour left. There's over half an hour left, Soph. And I'm pretty sure that Gloucester will want to stray away from the off, get back into the game and hopefully test the keeper a bit more. Like I said, they haven't been doing enough of.
Yeah, and you know, speaking of players as well, just actually looking through this yesterday into Worcester's side, Brooke Ellis, number 17, who you would have seen on the screens earlier and throughout the game. She actually just recently had recent selection for the England College's FA Youth squad. Dan, does that not just show how impressive these Worcester players are?
Definitely, I know that's one of the players that play for West Bromwich Albion Football Club. There's a Wales international, if I'm wrong.
Yeah, that is in Charlotte Salisbury Williams. But anyway, play resumes. Gloucestershire looking to claw one back. And it does become a game now, Dan, of whoever scores the next goal may potentially win the game. You know, if Gloucestershire score next, it brings the game back to 3-2. But, you know, if Worcester score and make it a fourth, it will just put the game to bed.
Yeah, for Gloucester, they've got to be way more assertive. You saw then the ball go into the bottom right-hand corner. They want to put it more into the wings, putting balls into the box. You've seen them do it glimpses. Like I've just said, they need to do more of it, though, which we're not seeing. See, look now, put a bit of pressure and it's going out for a throw-in. This is what Gloucester need to do more of.
Exactly. You're exactly right. Gloucester should just need to get some confidence from somewhere and just get themselves going. It's amazing what a goal can do. Maybe something from here. No, they decide to go short instead of the long throw, which I think they would have done in that situation that they were in. Anyway, turn. It's a good ball into the box. It's floating. Headed away though. Worcester deal with it, but it's pumping around. And it goes back out. Can she get it back out towards the edge? Yes, she can. Another good ball in. Cleared away. Worcester deal with it, and they look to play out from the back. And play it back they do.
Really composed play there from Haggett. That is exactly what Worcester want this moment in time. Just to take a bit of steam off. They know that Gloucester are going to come at them. So what they want to do is keep it calm, keep it steady, and keep doing what they're doing.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be a crucial core part in this game as it continues. We've got half an hour left. It is 3-1 to Worcester. They managed to put themselves in front, extend the lead just from the penalty spot after a clumsy challenge from the Gloucestershire defence and keeper. Referee pointed to the spot and that was put away safely, and it's 3-1 if you are just joining the stream. But do not leave us here. We still have half an hour to go and anything can happen. Dan Summerfield.
Yeah, anything can happen. You are right, Soph. Again, you've got to start off the second half better, haven't you? And that's where at the moment Worcester are looking the far better side. And it's Mario on a shot here.
Hang on, that's going to have an
effort!
And it's gone in.
And what a goal that is!
It's a beautiful strike. Worcester have their fourth. It's one of those goals, and it's another one that you can see time and time again. Gloucestershire were warned about the long-range shots. She just set it up. Almost equivalent to Yuri Tielemans in the FA Cup final of 2021, but this one might just be better, almost reminiscent. She's just struck it, and now Gloucestershire are in deep trouble. Worcester have a 4-1 lead.
Where do you want your statue, Mario? What an absolute strike that is! Into the top left corner. You thought you took a touch, and I thought you could do it, and it's an absolute crackerjacker into the top left-hand corner. We said before the game that Worcester love to score goals, and that proves the reason why.
You could just see around the couldn't players saying not to shoot. She's gone and shot, but it's gone in. Why not? That is a goal worthy of any varsity. It's a goal worthy of any cup final. It's a goal worthy of any big occasion. And it's another one, it's almost just better than the one we saw in the first half. The long-range effort to flying in. Gloucestershire now need something, and they need something quick, because this game is turning heavily one-sided.
No, it definitely is, and Katie Lawrence has come on at the back to shore things up, but what a goal that was.
It was. And Dan, do you think Gloucestershire maybe should try having some shots from outside the box rather than playing it out and allowing that defence to come up. Do you think maybe they should have a few efforts to test the keeper a bit more?
Yeah, I've been saying that over and over again. But the one thing I've mentioned to you is they've given them too much space in the middle, and that is the reason why they've scored another brilliant goal.
Yeah, it is, but they do need to do something. There is always hope that 4-1 down now, and Gloucestershire's heads might just start to sing. But
that's where you can't drop. Get one back and then go from there. But the one thing I want to mention is Worcester have been brilliant. They know what they're capable of, Worcester, and they're showing why on this pitch right now. Not having goals just from the forward line, they've got goals from the defensive line as well.
Yeah, they are, but they're coming forward again. Well, Gloucester are able to deal with it. Gloucestershire have to play some open brand now, despite the fact, and now they're in again. Sure, again, it's the number 9 playing it back. There's the number 10. The goal scorer should have an effort, and it's gone wide. Yeah, it's just Gloucestershire now. Gloucestershire now just looking to start to get their heads down. Like you said, Dan, they can't, but it is really hard when you're in that situation. Worcester with the ball moving forward, and Haggett tries to have a strike again. There it comes, and here's an effort, and it's dragged well wide of the post, and that was Casey Evans, the goal scorer of the penalty. Dan, Casey Evans with that penalty.
Yeah,
that was a fantastic season. How calm in that situation do you have to be to just tuck it away?
Massive moment for Worcester that was. And I wouldn't say it's put the game to bed, but it's put the game more out of Gloucester's reach. I think the one thing I would say too is, even though Worcester are having those shots from outside the box, they're going to have more of them, it looks like, just because it's going to become more open. And that's what Gloucester needs to do. They need to put the more pressure onto Worcester, which they're not doing.
Yeah, anyway, Gloucestershire do have a corner, I believe, so maybe something from this. The linesman put his flag up for a corner, so I believe it is. Yes, it is.
Yeah, this is exactly what Gloucester needs to do in this second half. Put the pressure onto Worcester, which they haven't done much of.
Yes, and I think there's a player down, and it is Charlotte Salisbury Williams, the Welsh international. She's gone down. She did have some experience at under 19 level for Wales. If we look down here, she's a 1 yellow card, and she's got 3 goals this season as well for a defender, which isn't bad. So 3 goals, 1 yellow card this season. Wales under 19 international. Ella Fields, she's had a good season as well in the midfield. 6 goals, 12 assists, and used to be a competitive archer as well. Ella Fields used to do some archery. Could she hit the bullseye today?
I think she could do. But what I would say to you is, I think with Worcester now, they want to make sure they keep the game as it's going at this moment. I know we spoke about Gloucester needs to get into it, but what Worcester doing really, really well is when they have the ball, they don't do too much with it, and they're letting Gloucester come to them, and that's where the gaps are open. And you've seen from the goals they've scored, they've opened the gaps, they've got a bit of space, and they're having the shots from wide open play. And you've seen, even from the defensive line, when they have a shot, it could easily go in.
And Dan, just to surprise you, if you remember earlier, earlier on in the game, Charlie Donovan's challenge, she actually has no cards in the last 2 years, in the last 2 seasons. So her disciplinary record has been as clean as a whistle. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I know it's her last fast. I'm sure she want to go without a whimper, but we will see.
Who knows? Anyway, in comes the corner. It's flicked on, and it's cleared away. And anyway, light zones number 7 have it. Gloucestershire looking to try and claw one back. Beautiful skill. In it comes. Headed away again. Worcester's defence remaining solid, as it has done all season. They have barely been touched when you look at the goal scoring charts in terms of concession on goals scored. Isn't that true, Dan?
Yes, it is. Yeah, I think for Worcester, at this moment in time, we've seen them what they can do outside the box, but we need to see more of what Gloucester can do, and that's what they're lacking at this moment in time.
Indeed they are. There's a throw-in just over on the far side, and it comes. Vase has it. And Worcester ball, put the ball upfield. That's a fantastic ball, fantastic skill. Just not enough pace to get around the oncoming defender, and it goes out for another Worcester throw.
What I would say is, especially on the Gloucester side of things, Worcester, you can tell they're a bit more cheery. Of course they are, but from the Gloucester side of things, it's gone a bit dull, a bit quiet.
It has. Ever since that penalty got given, the atmosphere has just started to die down a bit. Just a little over 20 minutes to go, and they do have a long way back. You know, I'm not saying it's not possible, but it is a long way to come back. And you know, at the minute, as it stands, dare I say it, it looks like Worcester would be looking at the quadruple. They've scored 4, they could be on the verge of winning 4. Isn't that right, Dan?
Indeed it is, and at this moment in time, you just expect Gloucester to maybe change up a little bit. They're lacking something up top, I think.
I think what you're saying they're lacking is they're just lacking that cutting edge to get into those attacking areas, or the fact, you know, look at Worcester. 2 goals have come from outside of the penalty box. They've just gone hit it and see what happens. And Gloucestershire, they will get into a good position, then they'll pass it a bit. I think a bit too much. Do you think that that's a confidence thing for players to not shoot from outside the box? Do you think players do need to have an effort or two and see what happens?
Yeah, like Tony Bomber Brown said, if you don't get a ticket, you won't be in the raffle, will you? And that's what's happened. They've had shots most of the box. Here is Marriott again. I'm sure she'll be confident to have another strike.
Dare I say it, I tell you what, if another goal goes in from outside the box, this has got to be a Varsity Classic. One-sided, but a classic. What do you think?
No, definitely. I think Worcester, as I said before, they've over 133 goals scored this season. And they're scoring goals for a reason, aren't they? And you can tell from there, they've got a bit of confidence under their belts. They've scored some absolute brilliant goals. You saw from the goals outside the box, the 4th and the 1st. But the penalty and a bit of composure for the 2nd to squeeze it in.
Yeah, I've got
Evans here.
Evans will go for it! And it's gone in!
And it's another
shot! A fantastic effort that's flown in. It's a magical moment for Evans, and it's gone in. Gloucestershire look crestfallen, and it's another shadow, and we're looking down another barrel of another year that will go Worcester's way. A fantastic delivery. The keeper had no chance. It's flown in, and it's Gloucestershire 1, Worcester 5 now, and it's getting one-sided. Dan Summerfield.
Yeah, you can tell that Worcester really brimming with confidence. Again, I said it's going to open a little bit more. That's what's going to happen, especially with Gloucester trying to get back into the game. But Worcester, what a strike that is from Cassie Evans. She'll be happy with that one. We're having a contest today for goal of the season.
Goal of the season. Well, we've had at least a good 3 contenders for goal of the season in one game. We are in a goal dream, Dan. Obviously, it's not going Gloucestershire's way, but some of the goals we have seen this afternoon are just flying in from the Worcester perspective. You know, the bench is loving it. You can see the away fans are smiling. Gloucestershire have gone quiet. It really is starting to get a bit one-sided now.
Yeah, you can tell when you look in. I just said, if you don't get a ticket, you're not in the raffle, are you? And that's exactly what's happened again. You saw it with Marriott. But Gloucestershire aren't learning their lessons, are they?
They haven't. They've had pre-warnings before. The managers look frustrated. They've had warnings about closing these shots down. But that was a fantastic strike. I mean, there is no stopping that. And again, we've had 3 goals. As I said, 3 goals that I reckon are worthy of not just a varsity, but any cup final and any big occasion. And those scorers will remember those strikes for years and years to come. And if the result remains as it is, they will look back on that and be like, yes, I was there. It is one of those type of goals, and we've seen 3 of them today. Gloucestershire coming forward, though. Decide to come forward. Halted slightly into the attack. Played out. Now here they come, and the ball does not get past the defence. Worcester's defence, has been like a barrier this afternoon. They've conceded that 1 goal, but since then, in front of the keeper has had a fantastic blue wall in front of her.
Yeah, she definitely has, Suf. And what I would say is you can tell that the heads of Gloucester, they're dropping down a little bit, aren't they? And that's the one thing I said they can't afford to do. And I'm sure they want to make sure they leave on a high. Let's hope they can get a goal back in the game.
A goal or maybe 4, Dan. A goal or maybe 4.
Maybe
Who knows?
5. Yeah, but I think the Nade's point is here.
Listen, referee, is that that is a free kick? Yeah, she was just tugging on to her there, wasn't she? That was the challenge by let's just have a look. It was a good challenge, and it was by Regan Pigeon. She's another one that's had a good season as well, hasn't she? She's been so key to that defence, and it was Emily Phillips, sorry. Just a few mix up with the numbers, but it was Emily Phillips with the foul, and the referee has gone over and had a word. In it comes, and again, Dan, they're not challenging inside that penalty box for the ball.
I just really hope that they need to put more pressure on. That's what they're not doing stuff. That is exactly what they're not doing. And again, it's frustrating. And you've got to give Worcester credit for being in the position they are in.
Worcester have really, I apologise about that, ladies and gentlemen, but Worcester have really gone for it. But you know, you just would have thought Gloucestershire would have been up for it. I understand Worcester have had a potent attack, but you know, it's almost they're just sitting back now and starting the game's done. You have to go forward in these games. We've said it so many times. This game is about magic moments. Gloucestershire did come forward in the first half. They looked good up until half time. They looked good when they equalised. Then all of a sudden the head dropped slightly. They went 2-1 down. And, you know, again the heads did, but they still slightly felt they were in the game. They're coming forward again though. Macy Fox still retains possession. She has another option coming. Decides to take it. She's gone down. Referee says yes.
I'll be honest, I'm not too sure about that one.
I think she was clipped. She was just turning to deliver back in towards the penalty area.
Yeah, it's Macy Fox again, proving her worth up top for Gloucestershire. It's Ella May with a challenge. It looks outside the box, which it was. I thought she got the ball from my angle, but I could be wrong.
But Dan, look how close it was. You know, obviously, for those who don't understand, the decision is given from where the foul starts, not from where the foul ends. Just for people's information, for those of you who are joining in and aren't familiar with the football, with the rules, it is depending on where.
This is where, if I'm Gloucester, Surf, I would 100%.
This has to go in. This has to go into the box. In it goes. Here we go. Back post. And again. But again, there was more people challenging for that, and that's what they need. The pressure on the keeper, pressure on that back line from those set pieces. Don't they just need to do that, Dan?
Yeah, definitely. It was a great ball in, but it was a brilliant defensive header from the Worcester back line. But I'm sure that Gloucester won't see many more of those balls going into the box.
15 minutes left to go, and it is starting to look like Worcester's day once more. They lead 5-1. Gloucestershire now just looking potentially for something to leave on a high note. They will look for at least another goal. They will want to lose, but lose with dignity. You know, and if miracles can happen, miracles are possible. We have seen them before, but Gloucestershire need to improve and come forward. The fans have gone quiet. They know what their team need to do. The players do. They come forward again. Wrestled to the ground. Referee does give a challenge.
Yeah, definite foul there from the Gloucester player, and it's a brilliant win back from Phillips.
Yeah, it was. And she's been fantastic all season as well, hasn't she, Dan?
She has indeed, but so have Worcester in general. I mean, again, we're not going to disregard Gloucester here, but Worcester have shown their worth. But we've got to mention how good Gloucester have been. 7 wins in the last 2. I'm sure that even if they don't win today, it's been overall a really good season.
They have had a good season, Dan, but you know, this is going to be the 4th year on the trot. Not to say that some of these games have been at home. Obviously, Worcester have had a completely different season. Looking at the goals, looking at cricket scores, almost in some of them.
Yeah, you are. Yeah.
And so.
No, pardon what I was saying about they had 7 wins and 2 losses in the last 9 games. Overall, I think for them, that's brilliant.
They'll be proud of that. They will be proud that you can't take that away from them. But surely, the one thing they would have want to have done is finally just get their hands on a varsity trophy that has evaded them for so long. And by the looks of it, it's going to be another year where that trophy, where that varsity title for them goes back up the M5.
Yeah, with 13 minutes to go, it's looking likely that it will be Worcester Women's day. However, what I would say is 4 goals conceded in the second half for Gloucester.
Yeah, I think that has to be an issue with the back line and the shots not being closed down. You know, I did speak earlier, you know, the keeper's goal kicks not going far enough, and that led to touching the first goal. But say that, Gloucestershire do come forward now. Possession lost in midfield for Worcester. Down to the right-hand side they come. Number 13, she sends it in, but there's no one there. Dan just needed to wait. Worcester look to clear. They do get it away. Back it comes. So Gloucestershire managed to retain possession. Little pull of the shirt there. Referee, nothing doing. Worcester do have possession, so wouldn't have counted anyway. Now here comes the dark blue number 9 for Worcester. She comes charging forward. Little flick on, and number 17 for Gloucestershire has it at the back and puts it.
It's brilliant play from Phillips, the number 9, taking it to Gloucester, and I think that's what more they want.
Yeah, she's been fantastic all season, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's been brilliant. Shooters came on, but again, I think it was a great ball into the box, and there was no one there to attack it, was there?
No, and you know, she could have waited. The players were just arriving, but again, that is part of the heads coming down. But they did need, you know, they could have had 2 or 3 coming in there to attack that, because that ball went right across towards the 6-yard box, and it was in dominant position again. And again, Gloucestershire exploiting that right-hand side, and again, there's no one there in time to attack. She just needs to wait a little bit, I think, to allow 2 or 3 more players to come into the box.
Yeah, what I would say there is it's a brilliant ball in, but I think it's on the far side. I think it's Lawrence and the attacker for Gloucester. They're a bit of a coming together, which is the reason why the Gloucester attacker wasn't into the box. So it's a shame they couldn't get on the end of it.
Yeah, but again, Gloucestershire will take some positives. They have had a good game down that right-hand side. They have been quite good. There is a substitution occurring now.
And I think it's Stubbs coming off.
Yeah, it's going to be Olivia Stubbs looking to come off.
She's been brilliant though, hasn't she?
She's been brilliant all game. She had that incident earlier where she caught herself on the post, but she came back on, got herself right back into the action. So Liv Stubbs to come off, and it is Sydney Wynn to come on. The
Sydney Wynn, number 24. She's on the pitch.
Yeah, she's quite transitional. She's had 0 cards this season as well. Transitional from a defensive midfielder. She can also play a winger's type of role.
Yeah, that is where Stubbs is playing. I never mentioned Olivia Stubbs. She has been a real thorn in the Gloucester back line. She has honestly been one of those players, been a threat. That's what I would say. And while they're giving one stand-up players for Worcester, and they've all been good, while I just say, I think she's been one of the better ones.
She has been. She has had a fantastic season. This will be a way to cap it off. Anyway, Sydney Wynn comes onto the pitch, and the first touch of the ball stays in play, and it's going to be a Worcester throw. Yeah,
with 10 minutes to go, you just hope that perhaps there might be maybe a kind of hope of a goal from Gloucester.
You never know, Dan, you never know, but it does look now very highly unlikely. I'm starting to look over at the far side, the away fans just starting to develop a bit of a smile, and I think they're starting to realise.
A celebratory mood, should I say, stuff?
Yep, you could say, and the Worcester will come forward again. Gloucestershire just staying back now, aren't they? They've realised the game's done. It's about damage limitations now for them, I think.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Again, I think the referee said it was a foul anyway, but Haggard was shot on the keeper. Again, you can see the confidence flowing through Worcester. That's what Gloucester have lacked.
And that is exactly not what the Gloucestershire fans or the players and staff wanted. They were hoping for a day to remember, and it looks highly unlikely to be, and there's going to be another change. And it is, I believe, a few tactical substitutions, and onto the pitch comes Freya Harley. She's had another fantastic season. She's another one that's got quite a lot of experience and been a part of this fantastic team as well. But Gloucestershire come forward again, and once again exploited down that right hand side. Is there too much on it? Yeah, it's just a little bit too much on it, and it's gone out of play.
Yeah, it was a brilliant idea there from Gloucester on the right hand side, but when your look's not in, your look isn't in. And again, I think that's what they lacked. Maybe a bit more quality.
But Dan, they've had 3 balls in the past 10 minutes coming in from that right hand side. They've had so much joy down it. They just need to get some players going in there. That's all they have needed to cause some issue. In fact, they've had fun down that hand side all game.
No, they have, and here come Worcester.
And here come Worcester again. The dance on field, exactly right. And Gloucestershire do retain possession, and again, right hand side. And again, no one there in time. Plays it back to the defender. Keeper clears it out into the crowds. It's going to be a throw.
Yeah, Gloucester again, some joy down this right hand side, and it's exactly what they want to see at this point in the game. I think it was Fox in the box.
It was. Fox
yeah, you
in
like
the
that one,
box.
Fox in the box, which she couldn't quite get along to. I think she was more into the further end of the box, went more into the central of the ball did. However, they're hoping from this corner they can get back into it.
It was. Well, you say get back into it, get something from it is probably the more realistic objective. You know, you have got to feel for them as well, haven't you? You know, it just hasn't been their day. They've been fantastic all season, like you said, 7 wins, 2 losses. Now Gloucestershire will make a change as well, looking to try and make.
Off goes Charlie Donovan.
Charlie
Last time at Varsity, he's been brilliant for the futsal team as well, may I just mention.
Yeah, it's been a credit to her. She's led the team through thick and thin. She's led them through fantastic season. She was there last year. And it comes. And it's gone towards the back post. It's squabbling around. And it's over the bar. And again, that's just what we needed a little bit more of. Players attacking that ball. Let's see what happened there.
Yeah, it's a brilliant ball in, and it's a bit of a scramble in the box, isn't it? And it's a shame, really, because I think that's, again, the difference between the two sides. I think it's Worcester. They've got that cutting edge in front of goal, and Gloucester haven't got it, have they?
No, indeed not. I think their heads, it's not that they haven't got it, I think their heads have just gone down since that penalty decision got given. You know, I think some of them will feel hard done by that. Again, that is where I can't really comment, neither of us can. That is just the decision that was given on the field from the referee's view, and obviously it's gone in, it's made the game 3-1, and in that sense most sides would, you know, at 2-1, like I said before, they were still in the game, they still had some sort of belief in that penalty. Another player go down, here's an effort, and it's safe into the hands of the keeper.
Yeah, that is exactly what we need to see more of, though. It's a shame they could have done a bit earlier, test the keeper a bit more, put him under a bit of pressure. And again, anything can happen.
8 seconds, but she manages to release it with 5 seconds to spare. And it's the Worcester fans starting to make the noise. The Gloucestershire fans have gone quiet, but...
Yeah, I thought you meant about the Worcester lot. You can hear them. They're loving themselves now.
Here we go.
Very close, bring it home.
Trying to
Varsity,
bring it aside.
Back to the Midlands.
Yep, it looks like it's going to be another year where it goes up the M5. Clear the way. And now clear the way number 4. She gets away, hoofs it towards the upfield. Fans trying to put Worcester off, but they realise, you know, which way this game's going. You know, it's been there for a while.
With 4 minutes to go, so what I made us mention, though, even though the score is 5-1 to Worcester, we need to mention that Gloucester need to again applaud themselves, because as I said, brilliant season. They gave Worcester a really good game in the first half, I thought. Again, the second half may have fallen away from them, but overall they've really given a good account of themselves, like I've said. And the main thing is, Worcester are a really good team, and we know that, but so are Gloucester. We've seen this season. It's a bit like I know they've won every game in the league and whatnot, and they have really shown up.
They have. They really have. And you know, the likes of Kira Llewellyn, who we heard getting chanted earlier, Powell, Daisy Tuttiett, Tori Parker, and the likes of Macy Fox, who's had a fantastic game. Gloucestershire just coming forward. Corner. This is what they need. Something. At least something from this corner. Maybe. Might not be a winner.
You never know, they could spot the old comeback.
Something to go away with, and it comes, and it's gone towards the front post, and again, nothing comes from it, and Worcester decide and just get away with it comfortably again.
Yeah, I felt like that was too rushed, but here come Worcester on the counter.
Here they come onto the counter attack, number 24. She goes right instead. Gloucestershire racing back, but do not get the possession, though. But they do get it back at the second attempt, and they will look immediately to try and turn upfield. There's a push there. No, referee says no foul. To play on, and it goes back to play off.
Yeah, really good play from Evans there. Win the ball back for Worcester. A good little counter it was, I thought. It was Field who was going at the Gloucester back line. However, they couldn't capitalise.
Yeah, they should have done, really. But Worcester just coming forward again, and that's it. It's going to be safely into the hands of the keeper with 2 minutes left to go now. Maybe a potential couple of minutes of injury time. Who knows how long that will be. It does look like this varsity is going up towards the Midlands for another year. Referee stops play to give a free kick.
Again, I'll be honest with you, in a minute, so I'm going to ask for your man of the match. But what I would say is, I think for me, my man of the match today would actually have to be the player down the moment, Beth Marriott. I think she's been absolutely brilliant at the back.
I am going to have to go. Not only Charlotte Salisbury-Williams, there's quite a few from this Worcester side. So Charlotte.
Yeah, I'll give you a second. I'll quickly speak on Beth Marriott. I think she's been brilliant. Of course, she scored that worldie for the 4th. Brilliant goal into the top left-hand corner. But one of the things you want in centre-back, and especially the goalkeeper, you want the centre-back and the partnership at the back to a bit of confidence.
Dan, you say worldies. We've seen 3 this game. We've seen 3 world-class strikes. That's what I'm finding so hard. I did have Charlotte Salisbury-Williams, and you know who you've just said as well. I did have Charlotte Salisbury-Williams, and I did have Casey Evans up there, so I think she's done. But you do have to give credit to Sime. She has led her team out from the front and absolutely
and you can't
driven her team forward.
You can't forget Haggett's goal in the first half, the crackerjacker into the top left-hand corner again.
So Dan, we've had a few contenders.
I knew you were going to ask me this question. Go on.
Final decision is yours. Not only goal of the match, man of the player of the match.
My player of the match would have to go to Beth Marriott at the back. I thought she, as I said, she's been absolutely brilliant. And again, it's up for debate. I'm going to go for Haggett, the first one. The first goal of the day for me in the first half. She's been a real rock today. A brilliant finish from her. How about you?
Well, I'm going to agree with you, but for those that are on the live stream, put your comments in there as well. Who you think your man of the match should be. Yeah, put it in and let's see what the outcome is. Worcestershire resume play. The clock goes 90. This is Worcester's day. It is theirs. A few minutes of injury time. Ball goes into the box. And it goes back out. Worcester just looking to hold on now. They're there. They know they've done it. Fans, the way fans eager for that Worcester's goal.
They are indeed.
Enters.
Yeah, quick mention as well to the ref. I thought in the first half he let the game flow. In the second he's in the exact same. The game has really flown well.
He's been fantastic, hasn't he? You know, he really has. You know, the tunnels, I could just see they're starting to bring the tunnel out now. Full time is nearly upon us. It is Worcester's day.
He's given a corner here.
But there is a Gloucestershire corner. Dan, I think some of the Worcester subs that are waiting for the celebrations, I can start to see them.
Yeah, a bit like the Gloucester men's ones earlier. They'll be doing the exact same, I'm sure of that.
They are. They surely are. And that 5-1, they really have deserved it. You have to give credit and condolences to the women's team. And that one.
Again, that bit of quality which Gloucester have really missed today. And it goes out for a goal kick.
Referee keeping his eye on the watch, chooses to have a few minutes added on. It has been a game in which Gloucestershire came with hope. They came looking to win. They came to look in the shadow. But it's going to be another year that they will have to try and battle back from. Still, and in this one, even more damaging than the last. It has been one-sided, 3 goals from outside the box. 3 Worcester winners that have been absolute world-class strikes.
What I would say though, Sophie, it's been an absolute brilliant day for football. I'm sure of that. A brilliant showcase for the women's and the men's sport from Gloucester and Worcester.
It has, and not only that, it's been a brilliant day for university sport overall. It has been fantastic to see people coming in attendance and coming in numbers, might I add. It's been a fantastic afternoon in terms of atmosphere and attendance here at the Kate Lane here at Bishop's Cleeve. the football's been brilliant as well. It doesn't always reflect the scoreline. The scoreline does read what it was, but it's been enjoyable. Both the men and the women's games have been enjoyable games in their own separate way. The referees, Gloucestershire, look to come forward and just try and get something to cheer about. And they'll have an effort and spun off target, and it's gone wide.
For a goal kick. Yeah, again, you could tell straight away when Gloucester the ball, you can see what they wanted to do. But it's Worcester again, the back line has been really solid today. And they haven't really had a sniff, would you say, in the second half?
Well, you say a sniff. I think they did at half time, but I think once that penalty went in, I just thought, Worcester then just started having complete control, not only in their half, but in Gloucestershire's half too. Gloucestershire have had plenty of fun on that right-hand side. Is that a foul?
Yeah, and I think
yes,
we're going to
it is. There comes a card. That's a yellow card.
Yeah, and it's Haggett. I think he was one of those, weren't it? She had to go for it, but she's caught a bit late.
She has called it a bit late. She just turned at the last minute, I think, as Haggett was committed to the challenge. She's just turned. Referee says it's a yellow, and that should be more than enough. A fair decision, and another good decision from the referee, who, like Dan said, has had a fantastic afternoon. You've got to give credit to him. And obviously Gloucestershire will have the free kick. And again, Dan, I've just realised from the free kick, I know it's 5-1, look at where they've lined up. They're not even in the penalty box.
Very high line, isn't it?
There we go, they break out, bounces around. Worcester failed to deal with it, and again, she just couldn't quite get to the bounce on time to strike it away. Worcester managed to get it out. Macy Evans is dragged down. Free kick, yes it is.
Yeah, brilliant by Fox there. Brilliant way to win a free kick. See, again, she's one of those players, she has really given her all. She, of course, got that goal in the first half. But I'm sure she'll still be disappointed.
No, it's a free kick. And maybe Worcester might just be conceding this foul to run the time down. They will start doing that. They want this game to be done and dusted. They're 5-1. Gloucestershire will look to try and get something else. At least a second goal potentially. Here we go. In comes the free kick. In it goes. It's bouncing around the area, and once again, Gloucestershire unable to counter. Fantastic piece of skill. Macy Fox. Oh, she could have. Might not have won the game by far, but it could have been a moment that might have just put a smile on home people's faces.
Yeah, brilliant bit of skill there by Fox. Win the ball back in the middle of the pitch. A brilliant strike as well, but unfortunately she leaned back a bit and it's gone off target.
It is just at that time. Worcester referee with the whistle in mouth, just waiting the time. And that is it. It is Worcester's day. Worcester came in for the quadruple. They entered the Gloucestershire turf at Kate Lane, and they have conquered for the 4th year running. The celebrations begin for them. They will party all the way up the M5 and back, and they will party late into the night. A quadruple for them. A fantastic season capped off with a fantastic varsity result. For Gloucestershire's girls, they will have to wait another year. This time, even more damaging than the last time. They will crumble, they will hide, they will look to recover and come back again. They had a fantastic season. They arrived here with hope. Hope for history. Hope for glory. But it is Worcester's day, and it's a Worcester win, and it's been 3 wonderful strikes that have sealed the game.
Yeah, I couldn't disagree with you, Suf. Fair play to us. They were the better team today, and you've got to give them credit for that. I knew going into the game, they had this special record of not losing this season, over 133 goals scored in all competitions. But what I would say is on the Gloucestershire part, that first half especially, I thought they gave them a really good game. And I think that's where you've got to give credit to Worcester in the second half. Someone was in that dressing room, and they came out the second half, a couple more shots on target, and they took it to Gloucester. And that's what I felt like they couldn't really compete with them.
So, yeah. But Dan, Gloucestershire, as we said so many times again, they were in the game. You know, even at 2-1 down, you just thought there was some belief they were coming forward. Macy Fox was having some fantastic fun down the side. You know, she got in one-on-one, she scored a goal just when you thought so. That brought them level. They went 2-1 down, and you just thought, okay, there's still some belief. And then all of a sudden, that penalty, that one moment of clumsiness at the back, that one, you know, faltering decision that leads to a penalty, it gets tucked away, 3-1, and then bang, next thing you know, a shot from outside the box goes flying in, 4-1, and then boom, it's another one, it's a fantastic free kick, 5-1. So just when you thought Gloucestershire looked in the game, and Worcester stepped up.
Yeah, and there we have it, the players going over to see their fans who have travelled down the M5 to Gloucester, and you've got to give them credit, And what I would say is, fair play, so a bit of confidence in their side. They've scored some brilliant goals, may I just say.
Yeah, they have. Like I said, goals worthy of winning any occasion. Those fans, those Worcester locals, those Worcester students have come to see their winners, and it is their winners. And, you know, families, members in the crowd, you know, for Worcester, from the Worcester side, they will go and celebrate with family and friends. Gloucestershire, well, we have to look after them now. You know, you have to give them their respect. They turned up, they tried, they did everything they could. They got to varsity, they had a fantastic season. It just wasn't for them. But it is Worcester's day. Worcester's day once more. And, you know, Dan, big players step up in big games, and boy, didn't seem they just.
Yeah, in a second, I'm pretty sure we're going to go to Macy Fox, the goal scorer for Gloucester, in a second.
Yeah, I would love to hear from her. And, you know, Dan, she just, you have to feel for them. You know, just when you thought Gloucester had a player down, going off injured, the game levelled, you know, you thought that was going to be the game. And then all of a sudden, Worcester, a fantastic side, 3 wonder strikes and a penalty. That, you know, you just can't change that. You know, and Gloucestershire will learn from that. You know, I thought they could have been a bit more confident.
And now we go to Holly Norman, who is with Macy Fox.
Right, we're joined with Macy, the goal scorer for the match. Look, it may not have gone your way today, but you performed brilliantly. Just talk us through the game, and particularly your goal in the first half.
Yeah, it was. I think the result doesn't reflect the game. I think we kept them tight for a while, and we needed the goal. Like, we bounced back well, and then I think they were the better team in the end.
Yeah, look, and just, it's been a long season for you guys. How proud are you of your team and of the girls today? Not just today, and also with the rest of the season.
Yeah, it's been a brilliant season. Like, we obviously got promoted last season. It was our first season in the league above, and we almost got back-to-back promotions. So it was brilliant. We've just had a great 2 seasons. I'm really proud of everyone.
And look, it may not have been particularly great weather today, but you've had a fantastic crowd out there today supporting you. Just how important is that atmosphere to kind of dig on and get and sort of perform well?
Yeah, they were incredible. I mean, they were definitely better than Worcester fans. They got told off a few times, so definitely helped us out, yeah.
I won't keep you for too long so you can go and speak with your team. Thanks very much, Macy.